What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That is your boy, Joey Options, and we didn't plan this, but now I kind of noticed it. It's all fine.
Man.
As long as you don't have gray pants on.
I got navy blue. We're good.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Right.
Okay.
We're kosher, man. We're kosher. We're kosher.
Shout out to Tisha. Let's wait for everyone to come on over from the other stream. Shout out to Dr. JD Voice. Shout out to Darwin, Mr. Longshorts. We got Stock Up and Andrew Chow. Where are the new people at? The beautiful gate. There we go. DC. Hayes Records. Where have you been, bro? It's been a hot minute. Shout out to you. Welcome back. VRO Traders. We got Aram 31 and Cass M. And who else is this? Stuart. Tilster. Okay, Jarhead Trader, like that. Soul Queen 88, get it. David Beach. We got Drew P. You're not going to get me with that last part, though, boy. You got me before. You won't get me again. Shane JH87. We got Patrick Langlois. Zach Frack. I like that one. Brandufus. Okay, that's an interesting one there. Kim Stein. Who else we got? Berto G. Okay. Manic R, Casual, DJ Tech from New York City. We got Pope County Judge Criminal. I don't know what's going on there, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Bold. You're not going to get me with that last part either. We got Pro Trader. We got Money Talks. Aram. Who else? Dad Hacks. Yes, Mr. Ian Fugazi Bear. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that name, too. Smoke and Vape. What are you doing on the weekend, bro? It's almost here. Dave B, Indeed Money, Kirk D, Joseph, Legend League, and then one of the OGs, Ezekiel Lapera. What's going on, my man?
My guy, it's I Need Money, man. I Need Money from How High, the guy who slept on the couch over there, right there on the couch.
That movie is jokes. I've only seen parts and I've never seen the full thing.
It's great.
Usually a reason why that happens.
Man, for the longest time, I didn't know Mike Epps was that one guy. I'm not going to say it here. Darius, man, my guy, sorry to just sway off there. Darius Golden, my guy, back in the chat. Welcome back, brother. Glad to see you. Been working, haven't been able to trade like that, but took your advice on longer contracts. I'll say good luck, my boy. Anytime, my friend. Longer contracts, Darius. I know you're going to do that. So, but yeah, Sharif, we're going to talk some credit spreads. Today we were talking debit spreads on Tuesday. Now we're going to flip that, we're going to inverse that, and see we're going to get those net credits into the account on high probability trades. But Sharif,
yes, sir.
Before we hop into the lesson, my guy, is there anything you want to touch on?
Of course, Joseph, here is what we're looking at. It's a stacked list today, baby, or charts, whatever, of small cap gappers. Here we go. QNTM, a holdover from yesterday, but a respectable move up again today, dancing around 74%. It is above the pre-market high, but it's off the actual official high, so we're going to keep an eye out on this one. It meets all the criteria so far, trading above VWAP, trading above the pre-market high. LTRY, another good mover, holding up above VWAP. This one started out its life today in the penny stock category, trying to maintain above right now. APPS, the one I'm involved in right now, looking for a 10 exponential holdup. Let's see if this holds up. Very tight stop because it's kind of a random area to pick it up at the 10 exponential, given how aggressive it's been moving. AMSC, up 31 and change, off the highs, but above VWAP, so definitely in focus today. And then Aurora Cannabis yet again. Dang. This monster, I know, it's going to 1,500.
Yeah, I need that, man. I need that 1,500.
We'll talk more about why I just mentioned 1,500 in a second. Joey will tell you the story. But we're up 20 2/3 today, Joseph, and we just made day's high. So ACB, an earnings winner yesterday, and in play again today. Not last but not least, we got RNAS trading below VWAP, so that one's giving up the good. EQ also breaking down below VWAP, but Rich Tech Robotics, one that you've mentioned to me on occasions, Joseph, trading above the pre-market high and above VWAP. These are what we're keeping an eye on. But we'll talk more about that once we're done our lesson.
Bang, let's go, guys. AZ Adventures, we're going to hop into it in a second. AZ Adventures, you never get a shout-out. Well, here it is. Ask and you shall receive. What's going on, AZ? And what's going on, she's in Ask Kira. Nice to meet you. Okay, so guys, let's get right into this one here. Lots of information to cover, so we got to get the party started. All right, guys, options, credit spreads, part one here. Basic stuff. let's get it. Well, not basic. It may be a little complex. For those who are not familiar, we're going to try to put this into layman's terms for everybody. Make everything as simplified because we know that trading options can get a little complicated, but I promise you, the more familiar you get them, the more you will understand, all right? So just basically what we're going to be going over here is the first half. So what are credit spreads, benefits, and trade types, and then the Greeks. Then the second half is more or less part 2, guys. So just keep that in mind, and let's get this show started. Credit spreads are a type of trading strategy that involves simultaneously buying and selling options contracts of the same class, either puts or calls, identical to debit spreads, all right? Just so keep that in mind, but they're just going to be the inverse of that. So with different strike prices, they are an intermediate options trade that utilize a fairly simple structure and have the potential to yield consistent returns. And that's where that probability of profit comes into play. Every seasoned options trader, or even if you're new, you will always realize when you go to construct a trade, you will have the probability of profit. And with this is where we can really increase that probability of profit, all right? So credit spreads are the inverse. Your account is credited and puts cash flow into your account. So it's the inverse of the debit spread, as I mentioned. Let's keep in mind option spreads, either debit or credit, are fixed and capped profit trading strategies. So we always need to keep that in mind, all right? So when trading equities or flat out buying options, puts, or calls, we need the asset to move in a specific direction. It's the same thing with debit spreads, all right? And in the case of simple options contracts, close significantly above or below your strike price in order for us to make a profit. Credit spreads do not need one specific outcome in order for us to profit. There can be multiple scenarios that happen, and we can still produce a profitable trade. So this is what really drew them. When I was reading and studying about them, I was like, oh, okay, I don't always have to be necessarily long or short biased. I can construct market neutral strategies, and I can construct trades where my timing may be slightly off, but I still have the ability to profit off of these, all right? So let's get into it. So for example, bullish case, we buy 100 shares of stock. In order for this trade to be profitable, we need the stock to trade above our entry price. If it goes down, we lose our risk on the trade. Only one scenario allows us to be profitable when we are flat out buying common shares, all right? So bear case, same thing. We sell 100 shares of stock. In order for this trade to be profitable, we need the stock to go down. If it trades above our entry price, we lose. Again, only one scenario allows us to be profitable in this case. Trading credit spreads, we have multiple scenarios where the outcome can end with positive cash flow into our account. The underlying assets can go up with the bearish trade, and we can collect the premium received from selling the contracts, all right? So I think when people refer to the power of options, a lot of it has to do with the way that you can manipulate the contracts in ways that allow you to kind of not just go necessarily long or short, which is very interesting and something that really drew me to these types of vehicles, all right? So the underlying asset can go down with a bullish trade, and we can still collect the premium received, so in a bull put spread. So most importantly, the asset can move sideways, and we still collect the full premium received for the contracts we traded. The only scenario where we don't collect the full premium is if the stock goes above our short call strike price in a bear call spread, which we want to be out of that trade way before that even happens, all right? Or we get stopped out, or the stock goes below our short put strike price, again, or we get stopped out in a bull put spread. So credit spreads give you 3 times the number of ways to make a profitable trade opposed to just buying or selling stock or simple legged options, all right? I'll repeat that one more time. Credit spreads give you 3 times the number of ways to make a profitable trade opposed to just buying or selling stock or simple-legged options, okay, or single-legged options, all right? So keep that in mind, guys. 3 times the amount, which is really interesting and drew to me, all right? So there are multiple ways to construct and create a credit-based trade using options. In this presentation, we will focus on 2 credit spread strategies that form the basis of credit spread trading. That is the out-the-money bull put spread, all right, so a bullish trade via puts, and the out-the-money bear call spread, a bearish trade via calls, all right? These 2 types of credit spreads are built from a combination of 2 simultaneous options contracts, as previously stated, constructing a multi-leg options trade. The initial leg of the trade will always consist of selling or writing an out-the-money call or put. Simultaneously, we buy a call or put above or below the initial short strike price, depending on which strategy we're employing. This forms the second leg of our trade, resulting in a net credit into our account, okay? So, in these basic credit spread trades, the goal is for our options to expire worthless, okay? So when you construct a debit spread, you don't want that. You don't want to allow those to expire worthless unless you're willing to risk all what you've paid for that premium. In this scenario, in this case, we want these contracts to expire worthless, all right? We do not want to sell naked calls or puts. Doing this can be very, very dangerous and leaves us exposed to possible assignment risk. Most importantly, this can lead to outsized losses or account blowups. In order to protect our capital and not leave ourselves at risk of assignment, we must buy protection, all right? Also known as protective puts and or calls, this second leg of our trade creates the spread for us. This is the style of trading we are focused on. So let's get into this. So now this would be me shorting a put, right? So synthetically, we're long, but you can see the max loss on this trade, okay? A max loss of $47,000 with a return of only $249. This has me scratching our head. And I mean, we're not gonna completely go to zero here on the Qs in a span of 3 days, but just seeing that risk to reward ratio is extremely alarming. But what can we do to fix this? Okay, so boom, this is exactly it. We buy our protection at a lower strike price, constructing a net credit into our account. Now you say, Joe, you can look at this and be like, Joe, but my max loss is still $300, but my max return is only $99, $100. Well, yeah, that's understandable, but you gotta then look at the probability of profit. You essentially have a 70% chance that at some point this trade is going to be profitable. And also, how do you eliminate the $300 loss? Well, it's simple. You set a stop loss as well too, guys, all right? So that's one thing that we really need to focus on is the probability of profit. So now this can get extremely dangerous. Shorting calls, I told you guys my experience on shorting some Tesla calls, and this is what it would look like if we were to short this call on the Qs. We have an infinite max loss. Why? Because Qs can go higher and higher and higher. There is no ceiling on these. With a return of only $413, doesn't make sense, right? So what do? We buy the protection. So in this case, we go from an infinite loss to a loss of only $260, okay? Keep that in mind, with a max return of close to $200. You see the drastic difference? And yet we haven't even implemented delta into these systems yet. And then you can see the increase in probability of profit, putting that at 58%, okay? So keep that in mind. That is why we buy the protection on these styles of trades, okay? So what we'll do is we're gonna go through the key takeaways of this. We're gonna pause and then get into the market. So multiple scenarios, right, to create income. Beautiful, 3 times the amount. We like that. Spread-based trading is fixed profit. Sounds good to me if I got high probability of profits. The difference between strike is classified as the spread, simple stuff. Focus on selling the out-the-money leg initially and always buy the protective option to cap losses and, most importantly, avoid assignment risk, all right? So we're going to stop there, guys, and we're going to see what my guy to the right of me is up to.
All right, we're involved in a couple of trades right now, Joseph. QNTM and APPS. So QNTM, we're long at 98. It's showing me 1504's best print we've got so far. 1560, that was on a quick pop-up, and then it just came right back down. It's looking like it might double top here, so I've moved up my stop to the previous candle low. That's around 14.5, so we're going to risk about 50 pennies. It's looking a little top heavy at this level, okay, especially with a couple of failed wicks right now into 16. Both of them have failed in the traditional sense, in the sense that it didn't close above that 16 area. We have currently a higher low, but we'll see how long that happens for. So I'm involved in that. That's QNTM, a holdover from yesterday. It is above the pre-market high. It is above VWAP, so we're following our rules, but this one not as forthcoming to the high side. The other one, APPS, I I had a DCA over here waiting at 433. Didn't get filled, popped up back into 4.5. Now it's using 4.5, it looks like here as resistance. So we're in a couple of trades that could go either way at the moment. We're basically flat right now on APPS, flat on QNTM, neither out or in the money. Looking for this to choose a direction. There's lots of other ones. ACB keeps making higher highs. We'll get to that in a second, but for the moment, I got to manage these bad boys. Now, what I've done with QNTM is I'm a little concerned about the double top. So I'm looking to de-risk it around the $0.25. Take a quick out there at 15.25. We'll see if we get that pop. I was able to get 15.25 over here, but now we're kind of getting these lower lows. I am concerned that the bottom is going to drop off, and there it is, got stopped out of QNTM. So we'll go 0 for 1 on the day. But as I see it, APPS now moving up here close to my entry. There's a seller here at 55s. Not sure what's up with that, so we'll take out that bad boy there. Oh, all right. So now we'll put up a couple of orders up here. I didn't want to take 2 out over here. That was a mistake on APPS. So already making mistakes, but at least we're profitable on apps right now. This one's up big. It's up 77 and change. I'm looking for this one to retest the high at around 489. It holds a predictable level of resistance. Predictable level of support right over here. I'm just keeping my eye on QNTM on the side chart because it popped right back up. You mother. Okay, so here we go. This is popping right back above 15. Again, I'm talking about QNTM. It was a great move off the 10 exponential, so I should have been basing my exit on that rather than on the prior bar low. But hey, you're not going to win them every time. So we'll see what we get there. Back to APPS. Again, I keep putting my outs 1 penny below where they're supposed to be. So now we're going to move up over here. There we go. Nice. All right, we're doing decent here on APPS. Let's see if this one squeezes. The tape's really picking up. I put my out at 69s right now. Let's go with this one. This one looks like it may want to test that $0.75 again. It's had, again, some support at that 430 area, so keeping tabs on that. But there's lots to talk about over here. I'm talking about AMSC. Give me a sec. To load up my side charts. There we go. AMSC, really good looker right now. Look at this, hug the 10 exponential, pop right back in close to that high day. A bit more expensive though is AMSC, so you're gonna have to ante up a little bit more in order to get involved in this bad boy. $35.89 per share right now, so if you wanna size up, it's gonna cost you a couple of bucks. So AMSC looking awfully good. Likewise with ACB. Moving into the highs yet again, $6.61, the high of the day right now on Aurora Cannabis. Rich Tech Robotics keeps bouncing off the volume weighted average price. That's on the top right hand chart right there. I'm looking for this one to retake that 275 area. There does seem to be some selling at the $0.75. So if this decidedly takes that $0.75, I think I will get involved with that bad boy. So those are the ones we're looking at right now. Profitable on apps, about 25 pennies in the money, give or take. But definitely lost some stupidly on look at this, Joe. Oh man, the bottom wick is my stop. Those are the worst feelings. It's quite frustrating. But this one could make a new high above that 15.11. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw out an order on this bad boy.
You posted that stop, right?
Eh?
You posted that stop, right?
Yeah. That was a resting order. Yeah, if that's what you're asking. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go 15.15, and then we'll look to buy into 15.20. If this bad boy breaks, I'll put a script order for the new 5-minute candle to make a new high. Hopefully, we'll catch a bit of a move up. So in apps, in quantum, come what may.
Hey, yeah, a lot of people in the chat are saying bye-bye Bitcoin. There it goes, around 55 there. Rich Tech Robotic. But Gorev and I have been talking a lot in the chat lately. And Gorev, I could just tell by our conversations that you've been trading for a while and you've gone through some educational processes. So he's an experienced guy. If you ever, I feel like if you ever have any questions, Gorev will probably set you up pretty good there. Because we were talking about this on Google. Right now, you can see right now we're in NVDA, guys, but we're going to talk about Google here while we let this cook. And we were just talking about something from a daily perspective, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is potentially a swing trade for me. We can always get in and get back out, but I like this for a swing. You know that we're in NVDA for a swing as well too, guys. But this is what we want to look for. And Gorev is just like, he nailed it on the head. He's like that indecision candle at some key levels, and that's exactly what we want to see here, especially with that isolated volume signature. Gorev, if we hold this low here, my guy, then I'm going to look to play a swing, because I think we do get somewhat of a bounce here on Alphabet. So that's my look there. Nice indecision candles. We always talk about these throughout the day. You know, I'm pointing them out, and then they're even more powerful on a larger time frame, that being the daily. So let's see if we can get a little pop here. We breached the gap. Maybe we get in a little bit more, but if we get an open around 190, 150 Gorev, then I'm going to look to play somewhat of this gap fill here, about 20 to 30% fill. So we'll look to put some shares on there. And then here we go with some NVDA from an intraday perspective. We're in 126.40. Should have locked out some more right here. It is somewhat of a choppy mess, but I think that this thing is going to continue to recover and then bounce to the top side. We're not quite entering the gap here just yet from that daily on that DeepSeek news. So I think it's only a matter of time. Was this overdone? I was talking to my buddy Greg V. I'm like, man, what's the RSI? Because he utilizes the RSI. And he's like, yeah, it's way oversold right now, guys. So that's kind of just my thesis here, sitting on some of these big names, and we were talking about it as well yesterday. So that free cash flow in these companies is somewhat laughable because it's so large, and it's you can do it.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you can do anything with it. So that's why you just keep buying these things up, and that's my look on NVDA. Let's see if we can recover here, Sharif.
Absolutely, Joseph. That's a good point there. Look, still keeping an eye on Quantum. I've set my order to go long here above the previous candle's high. So we'll see if this one wants to move along its merry way back to the high side. It's holding the 10 exponential like a beauty right now on the 5-minute. I'm talking about QNTM. It's up 75% in here. It may fill me. There we go. Don't get filled. I gave it a 10-penny spread, bro. I mean, like, I don't understand. There we go. So let's see now if we move up or if we tank right back down to Dares at the big desk.
Keep an eye on X and FDX, so both tickers here with the letter X in them. We have reports here that Donald Trump is apparently meeting with the leaders of U.S. Steel and FedEx today here. This is basically sources apparently familiar with the matter, cited by an ABC reporter on X. So I guess a reporter by ABC tweeted here or posted on X that they've heard that X and FDX leaders are going to be meeting with Trump. So that's going to be people from U.S. Steel and people from FedEx. So keep an eye on that. Trump apparently meeting with these members of these companies. Also Microsoft and Watch here. Seeing some reports here that OpenAI is looking for this Stargate expansion in Texas and other states. We know Stargate was set to start in Texas and that OpenAI is part of Stargate. So keep an eye here on MSFT. Really nice look here near day's highs, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. Yeah, we got long there at 20, scalped up all the way into 50s, now waiting at 55s and then mid-60s, but it's not as forthcoming to the high side. It's showing me 25s right now on the 24s on the ask. Let's see if it continues to move up. It's quite spready, showing me 7s on the bid. So you're going to have to cross a little bit over here in order to get filled. So you need to account for that when you're trading this bad boy. The spread will cause some of your orders to go unfilled unless there is a marked pass between the price and the spread. Zigging and zagging right now. Happy ID wrist up in the mid-50s. Let's see if this holds 15, Joseph. Currently, it's got a higher low, but we still don't have a higher high above that 15.55 that we topped out last time. That's where we got the print there. So now let's go back into APPS. So this is moving closer to my order. I'm waiting in the high 60s here for something. We're long 41, de-risked a little bit into 60. It's showing me higher highs and higher lows. Now 64, seller of note at 64. Pushes this back down. There was decent size there for a $4 name. There he goes. He gets taken out. 65s now showing up as a bit of a resistance level. Let's see if we're able to take that. We took 65s out ever so briefly. This one doesn't feel like it's got that parabolic nature like some of these small cap gappers do. It just showed me 68s, and then obviously true to form, it doesn't print 69s. I guess maybe I'm not the only one waiting at 69. So we'll have to see if this one wants to move back up. Appreciate you, Adara. Looking for that that move back above 70. I think we're going to need to cross 70 here to get the print there. 69's on the ask. It's not filling because it's got to cross. There it is.
Dang.
Now we're going to move up a little bit. Appreciate you, Joseph. Now we're going to wait the lofty price of 88s. Shout out to CD Lamb. Shout out to Michael Irvin and everybody else who's ever worn 88. For the Cowboys. So keep it, and Des Bryant, obviously. And then keeping an eye on the side chart here. Neil's like, I love when I throw football stuff out there because I know I usually get a reaction, good or bad from Neil. So we're going to keep an eye out on QNTM as well as Joseph. It's still doing the dance with absolutely no underwear or pants with that $15 area. But most notably, it is still holding up at that 10 exponential. So I like the fact that it's respecting that level. I feel whatever trader or algos looking at this is basing something off that 10 exponential on the 5. So I'll look to add if it dips back down into 1450. What's your look on that side, my man?
We got a $20 super chat here from Dabadoo. Yes, again, I apologize. That would be my fault there, Dabadoo, because when I screenshot from the chain, I want to bring it over to the slide without distorting it. So sorry if it's a little bit small there for you. I can do, maybe I can work on something. Someone who's a little bit more tech savvy than I, and get those fonts a little bit bigger. And when I transfer pictures over, that you can see it slightly more clearly. So we'll work on that and appreciate the $20 super chat. And thanks for the feedback as well too. So appreciate everything you guys do. #1 stream on YouTube,
bang.
By far, bang. Much appreciated, guys. So you know the deal. If you enjoy us sitting here and talking stocks, guys, just hit the like and subscribe. And that's it, yeah, and just enjoy yourself. He's not asking too much, so
hammer that like,
hammer
baby.
that like, man. Yeah, exactly. We're not asking for the world here. We're just asking for a nice little like and subscribe.
Bang.
So yeah, and that's it, guys. But let's see what else we got going on here. I think it's only a matter of time until NVDA breaks. We are starting to compress here, forming these higher lows here, Sharif.
Yes,
putting in that nice kind of ascending wedge type price action with the definitive top right at 127. So we're running into some key pre-market supports now acting as resistance here on NVDA. But if that volume really starts to pick up and they decide that they want to move this stock, I think we're going to breach 127. And I think 130s can definitely be in the works for NVDA. But that's a big if. We're going to need that volume to step in. And we're going to need the market to follow as well, too. A lot of people in the chat are talking about Microsoft. It's extremely strong on the session.
Yeah, what's going on?
Then, yeah, it's really strong here. Nice recovery on, as you guys like to call it, softy. Not something that I would necessarily trade from an intraday perspective. But let's zoom out and see what we got going on from a daily technical standpoint. And here we are. I mean, we've been consolidating in this range for quite some time here, Sharif. So let's see if we can maybe get out of there. We've been bouncing off this key supporter on the 408, 400 levels here on Microsoft. But again, look at this massive gap down, and we've yet to re-enter these gaps. So not only do we have NVDA, we have Microsoft and Google with these large gap down on this DeepSeek news, and Google with earnings. So I think there's some plays within that, and I'm looking forward to seeing everything come into fruition. And when they set up, we're going to look to take advantage of those.
Absolutely, man. Good call there. Still keeping my eye on Quantum. I just saw that we weaseled on up to 75 here on APPS. I'm waiting for a high. Well, I'm front running the high day break. So technically, the high of the day is 89s. I put my out at 88s. Whether that gets filled or not, an entirely different story. But my plan on apps is to add on area retracement. So it looks like it dipped into the 20 exponential last time. I wonder if 50 pennies holds up here if we pull back in. So I'm long at 41, which gives me a bit of breathing room between that $0.50 and my entry. So at the $0.50, if we hold up, I'll add to this position because I only have one more outlet left on APPS. So that's my look right now. Here comes Quantum, and I've been waiting for a 15.25 pop and break on Quantum, showing me, it showed me 15s for a hot second, and then we zig and zag. So we're still holding up above the 10 exponential, but we're not as directional as we can be. This is very volatile name. It's a very spready name. Hopefully, maybe I'll get a print when we get back from Adara. Big desk. Get it, Adara.
That show, Sharif. We actually have we have PTON this morning with earnings. Now we have a small cap named PTN. This company is called Paladin. This news actually came out in the morning, but it's just starting to get some volume now. Paladin here is a small cap, Sharif, around $1.20 right now. And basically the catalyst with this name is apparently they announced the completion of their phase 2 study for their obesity treatment, which apparently involves GLP-1. So you definitely have to keep an eye here on PTN. Near days highs here at that $1.30 level. Not a super significant float. About 17 million shares, but still fairly small. Also, again, guys, please keep an eye on X and FedEx, but I think probably more so X or US Steel. Selena Wang, an ABC reporter, basically posted that she's heard sources telling her and ABC that apparently Donald Trump is going to be meeting with leaders from X and FedEx, and specifically that X is going to try to get Donald Trump to allow the Nippon Steel deal to go through. We know that leaders at US Steel want Nippon to acquire them, so I'll have to wait and find out what happens there, guys. Back to you.
It'll be really, really interesting there because he kind of made his point clear. He was echoing the same thing that Sleepy Joe was saying. I mean, that they both didn't want the deal to go through, national security, despite assertions and I think guarantees that Nippon Steel was trying to give to them, that everything would be kosher. Boom! To the high side. Sorry, I'm nuts.
Right,
there we go. So we take out all the resting orders that I had, baby, on this QNTM. We'll take out another beak wetter there. Go Quantum. Now we're $1 in the money on this. Let's see if we can take out highs. I'm going to wait at 16 now, Joseph, because we only have one more out. In fact, I'm going to wait above 16. I'm crazy. So we're going to wait there, 16.20. Well, actually, that's not even going to be the high of the day. 16.41 is the high of the day, but we get out of some trouble there, man. Straight up because, this one could have went either way. So we'll see exactly if this one keeps going. But go back to my earlier point. I think that they got some guarantees. I don't even want to call them guarantees. Maybe that's not the right word. Or just some, I don't know. They tried to kind of alleviate some concerns there. I remember Nippon. I don't remember the exact details. But, yeah, we'll have to see how that all pans out. Obviously, I think X could use some money. I think that's some of the issues that they're having over there. The cash situation. How are you doing over there?
We're good, man. We got another $2 super chat there from Jesus.
Bang.
Jesus Cabrera, what's going on, Jesus? AVPT, long-term, Jesus, man, in Spanish.
I'm good.
Yeah, long-term chart analysis. Please, data company. All right, we got you. Let's take a look here and see what we got. AVPT, doo-doo-doo. All right, so from a intraday standpoint, gonna give you the no on this one, but we're just at the beginning of this. Not the most liquid. You can see some liquidity stepping in and around here, but not looking too pretty from an intraday standpoint. We're gonna get to you in a second, Sharif. 1 second, hold it tight. Hold it. So he's rocking today, and I mean, here we go. From a daily perspective, looks a lot better. This is absolutely insane. So couple years ago, you're up a couple 100%. You're going to get the nod from me. And this is one thing that I'm going to point out that I find really key. I think buying all-time highs in certain underlyings is a really, really good strategy. Why? Because not only did the market push it up to the previous highs, but there's a reason. There's most likely a reason. And when you surpass that, it's like, okay, now you're going to head into blue skies, and now you might head into new price discovery. So you're going to get the nod on by me from AVPT. Do you necessarily want to grab it up here? Maybe look to start allocating, but don't go full size off the bat, right? But I like this thing. I don't know much about it, but from a technical standpoint, you're going to get the nod from a daily. What do you got going on, man? Bang. How many?
All right, we took $1.50 there. I mean, that's not too bad. It's not the best, obviously, especially when you see this, Joseph.
The dollar club,
that's quite frustrating right there, man, because you take out, you feel like, oh, yeah, got the high of the day, baby. You're feeling good. And then it's just like, well, the high of the day, if you waited like literally 3 more seconds, would have been $1 past where you got out. So it never feels good to do that, but you got to be grateful. Breaking up to the high side, QN dang. TM taking out high 1750. We're a triple-digit winner now, baby. We're up over 100% on this monster. This is a second-day play, and they don't even deal with Quantum. They're a biopharma company. I remember looking at this. Yes, Quantum Biopharma. Are they even using Quantum to help advance biopharmaceuticals? I don't think so. It's a Canada company. Okay, baby. Okay. Don't bring those 51st date jokes in the chat.
Don't bring the 51st
bring
date
it.
joke. Don't bring it around.
Which means that they will bring it. The company's engaged in building a portfolio of assets and biotech solutions for the treatment of challenging neurodegenerative and metabolic disorders and alcohol misuse disorders. That is important. You guys on the floor over here know why. Drug candidates in different stages of development. I do like that. I think that that's a noble cause. But the human algo has breaking news for us at the big desk.
Thank you very much there, Sharif. Get it, Sharif. And also here, I just saw the super chat come in here from Marcus Jameson about Oklo. So I looked into this. I want to note, actually, all of the nuclear names look pretty similar. Oklo maybe even looks a bit stronger than SMR and NNE today. But OKLO does have a pretty interesting catalyst. So Chris Wright, who is on the board of OKLO, actually just announced that he's stepping down from said board. This announcement came this morning because he's been confirmed as the Secretary of Energy. So OKLO board member here, Chris Wright, no longer going to be on the board. I don't know if that necessarily impacts Oklo stock, but I think it's an interesting catalyst to be aware of regardless. Also, OKLO has about a 19% short float, so that's another thing to be aware of there. I hope that helps provide some context with regards to OKLO. Back to you.
Your boy's killing the large caps over here yesterday.
Yes,
Yo, monster winner on Google, and he's got another monster, my man, on your boy, the monster NVIDIA.
Yeah, let's go here. I mean, guys, like we were just talking about this not too long ago. I figured if we were gonna break through these previous highs here, that swing high, then maybe that momentum and you see that volume start to pick up there on the lower time frames. So what do? We just take a little bit off the top there for the peeps. But I mean, full disclosure, entered in here, and you know what? I'm gonna be as frank as I can be with you guys. I should have got out at 126.39. I did not. I held it. Pull back a little deeper than what I'd liked. But you know what we do? We get right back in at a much better price, add to position, holds VWAP, and then that's when you take that leg higher. So as of right now, Sharif, it's looking like it's not too good because the Qs are somewhat dumping here, which isn't the best sign. So we're pulling back here a little bit in NVDA. Maybe we should have trimmed a little bit more at 127 because that has been a brick wall essentially for NVDA right now. But I think that if that volume sticks in play and it starts to pick up on these lower time frames, that we are going to break through and then continue. And I have just that gut feeling that we're going to hit 130, maybe not today, but I think in the near future there, guys. But the super chats are just flying in today. They're coming in
fast and
it's
furious,
Thursday,
bro.
Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift. Okay.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. Yeah, I like them. There's too many now. I don't even know what's going on.
Way too many now,
There's way too many. I don't even know it's fast anymore. It's just annoying. What's going on? What's up with OKLO? Let's take a look at that $10 super chat from Marcus James Reed, aspiring something. All right, let's figure out what we got going on with OKLO. We do know that it was in play yesterday, so let's take a gander at it, and then we're gonna hop on to the other super chat as well too. So I mean, look at the run you went on yesterday. You are still holding some of these levels. So again, you want to mark out these yesterday's lows. If your platform allows you to, then go ahead. Always mark the highs of the previous day close, and so the highs, lows, and previous day's close is I like to rhyme it because those are key levels, and I know Neil and Sean are definitely looking at those ones too. But here you go, holding them really nice, guys. But again, selling off here. I don't know too much about this company. I read about what they do. Forgot about it. That's okay because there's more other things to look at. But as of right now, it just looks to be somewhat of a sell program here. As you can see, the strength, the genuity within these short, these bearish prints, but then as you go to recover here, this is like pullback-esque type material here, overlapping candles, not the best prints, and really dwindling volume. So maybe, in my opinion, unless that volume steps into the top side, look for this thing to continue to turtle shell and curl over, and then maybe you can go and somewhat test the lows of days on OKLO. But as of right now, I don't know anything about it, but I know Adara will definitely take a look at it. But then we got another $5 super chat here, Sharif, from our guy Nick Dubb. I'm with you, and on NVDA. Love the 130 level. VRT had the same pattern. All right, love it, Nick Dubb. Much appreciated as always. always in the chat and always contributing to everybody in there. So we appreciate that. And here we go. There we go, Sharif.
What?
Here we go on NVDA, my guy. Starting to really punch through. As we previously mentioned, let's go. I told Brankles yesterday I'm out at 125.
Okay.
I might have lied a little bit because we're still in this thing here. Yeah, we're going to hold it until probably we enter that gap. But it is what it is. If it's working, stick to it, my guy, and it seems to be.
Joseph, look, bro, I love these trades, bro. I'm loving these trades.
I don't even know what to do.
We just took another 75 penny winner right now on QNTM. Punched it. Sorry, not 75, 65 or something like that. It was long at 30s. We rocketed up to 18s. I took it in the high 90s again. Smaller size this time around, guys. I didn't take the full size that I did. I didn't really want to give back a lot of the profits, especially when you're punching it at highs. You guys, if you've been watching the show for a while, you know I like to get in off key areas of support and punching in at highs. That's not support. You're kind of taking a risk there. But I mean, obviously, you got to take risks. This is trading. You wanna not take risks, don't trade. So anyway, the candlestick pattern right now on the 5-minute chart on QNTM is still bullish, whether or not we're rejecting that $18 over and over. The reason is we still have higher lows on every successive 5-minute candle. Well, what does that mean? That means the buyers are buying it up at higher and higher levels on every successive pullback. That is bullish. That's the trend we want to ride with. So the current the previous candle low, the one that closed at 1135, the low there is 1655. So long as we stay above that 1655, I'm interested in getting long again. Here comes 1690. It looks like we may be coming closer to that 1655. Now, just because we come into 1655 doesn't mean it's time to punch long. It means it's time to observe. Are the buyers stepping in? And they're not. There we go. We break down well below 1655. We wick off 16, I believe. That is the low of the candle there. We're still zigging. We're still zagging. We've bought up 16. Okay, so we're about 30 pennies or so above 16. Let me tell you something else. 16 seems like a hell of a level right now. Look at this area rejection. Area rejection. Then you clear it, and now we're bouncing off 16. Let's see if that actually happens, though. Do we get that curl back up?
What's my guy? Look at that ad, my guy.
Where? Oh, yeah. That was the one I was pumped up.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Now we dropped into 16, so I'm having an existential crisis right now, Joseph. Do I add into the 16 defend? I'll take your opinion. Look at this. Area rejection.
Yeah,
so that's 16 that rejects. We come all the way back down. We reclaim 16, reject again, Joseph. And then we take it out over here. Now we're bouncing, lo and behold,
look at that
off
volume
16.
And
my man is this is why, bro. This is why you're so look at the volume bars there, guys. So absolutely makes sense. Let's see if this one holds up, Joseph. I'm very interested in getting back in here, but it's gonna have to hold 16. Let's keep an eye out on this one. And then we shall we'll see. Believe it or not, we're still involved in another trade that I've said very little about for the last 10 minutes or so because, well, we're in the money, but it's definitely not near the highs. I'm still waiting at 88s. APPS is the one I'm talking about. It's up 80%. Put some dang respect on this one's name, but I'll put more respect on it once we get that 88 print. That's what I'm looking for there. Oh, baby, look at Aurora Cannabis, Joseph. I'm telling you, you're going to get 1,500 in a hot minute.
We got to talk a little bit about this.
24% today, my guy. And I don't think we had 40-something percent yesterday.
Yeah, well.
So, look, bro. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, Joseph. You don't know. It could be 2021 all over again. Tilray could start trading at $70.
But, can we pull this thing up from a daily perspective and see what we got going on?
Can you do post-split or pre-split? Or
I don't know if we can, man. ACB. Let's go. I mean, what is this? Is this pre-split? So yeah, guys. Full disclosure. Your guy is in somewhere around the $1,200 mark. But I mean, I got stuck in a couple reverse splits there. You see this here? Yeah, man. It's the reverse splits, dude.
Oh my God, you're from 18?
Yeah, bro.
That's about 20 and 21.
Dude. Yeah.
So you got in, yeah.
I was in I don't even know, 16, 17, 18, I was in somewhere along those lines. And then I got caught into a reverse split. But mind you, I knew nothing about trading and investing. I told you guys the backstory of this. I knew that weed was going to be legalized in Canada, so what do? My buddy that I lived with, he's like, Joe, man, you got to put some of your money to work. I'm like, no problem. So what do? We dump it into Aurora Cannabis, Canopy, and Afria. And sure enough, we got some bangers, but then we bag held this Aurora Cannabis, got stuck in some reverse splits. So now we're down about 99.6% on the position. So that's almost a 5-figure loss right there. But I told him, I'm just going to hold on to that for tax returns. But I mean,
and that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's
right.
The brilliant part
exactly, right. So we're gonna hold it. So if you ever want to deduct a capital loss here on Aurora Cannabis, but again, backstory. So one day I wake up and I'm like, oh man, I'm in the dumps in this thing. What's gonna happen? And then I wake up the next day and it's at $78, Sharif. And I'm like, yo, no way, let's go. We're back. We're live again. But no, it was a reverse split, dude. And sure enough, it just reverse split after reverse split. Also, I forget what it even does now, man. It increases the price of the stock. It's a reverse split. So again, yeah, just ugly look for me. The average price is $1,200. We're down here at $6.46. So we're gonna be in this one for a while. Oh, we're gonna send it off to Adair, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, keep an eye here on Oracle and any of those Project Stargate related names. This news came out earlier. I actually reported this a little while ago now, but still seeing this circulate. Basically, OpenAI is reportedly eyeing to add more data centers in Texas and some other states as part of the Stargate project. Oracle is part of Stargate, so keep an eye on ORCL. Any of these other Stargate related names. ARM was kind of a Stargate related name here too. They're both involved, and they're also implicated through the involvement of SoftBank. Just keep an eye here on anything that Stargate is a part of here, guys. Back to you.
All right. I mean, what Joseph was talking about there, I think, is excellent sound advice. If you have like a capital gain, obviously, which is what happens when you buy and sell stocks for a profit. One way, obviously, to reduce your tax burden, Joseph, is to offset it against capital losses. And I'm no tax expert, but in this country, I believe you have 3 years that you can go back. So you can offset your capital losses, I believe, up to 3 years against capital gains. So
that's after you realize it.
After you realize it. Yeah. It's always got to be realized. Yeah, so that's a good point. I should have probably pointed that out. But yeah, so I mean, the reason we're telling you this is not financial advice, obviously, but to understand, you know, if you do have those losses, you can offset them against your gains. That is a sound strategy. And we always hear about that, Joseph. I mean, when we're getting into the New Year's season, you always hear people are tax loss harvesting, that kind of thing. So that's a deal there. Guys, I weaseled back in to QNTM. I got in at the 40 penny area. I took it out at 80s. You know, this was a quick scalp. It's likely going to break 17. It's a beautiful hold at 16. I mean, this is what technicians probably dream of. When Michael Moss goes to sleep at night, I like to believe he sees charts like this. Okay, I'm just joking. Thank you, Adara. No, seriously though, I mean, you get a double top at 16, proving to you that it is a key level of resistance, and then you clear it by a couple of bucks, and then you come back and hold it to the dang T. I do love that kind of stuff. It makes trading a bit more predictable, which we know is often not the case. So I've been weaseling in and out of these trades over here on QNTM. So long as this one is putting in those higher highs and higher lows, I will be interested in continuing to trade it. So this is my look right now on QNTM. Let's go back to apps though, because I am a little bit concerned about this one. Okay, now we're getting a bit of a compression pattern start to form. And what I mean by that, in case you're a newer trader, a compression pattern is exactly what it sounds like. The price is starting to compress. And so what that means is typically you get lower highs, but you also get higher lows. So you're kind of narrowing the gap. Case in point right over here, that high of the day that I'm waiting at 89s. Look at that. That's an area crest. And then we have a lower high. And now we have another lower high. But on the other side of the coin, this is an area trough into 1430s. And now we're bouncing off 14 mid-40s. So the price starts to compress. The technical analysis books, believe them if you want, or disbelieve them if you want, say that the compression pattern typically resolves in the direction of the trend. You don't need to be a chartered market technician to know that something that's up 82% on the day is likely trending up. So we'll see if this one wants to break up in the direction of the trend. I'm still waiting at the lofty price of 88s. We'll see what comes. Eddie D, last QNTM wasn't showing on your positions. It was, brother, but I was just in and out of it really quickly. You know, with these small cap gappers, brother, they're around for a good time, not a long time. So I get in, I get out sometimes. Sometimes, like the first position I had, you know, I was holding it for a lot longer because I had a lot more size. And there goes 17 again, Joseph. So we're taking out $17 yet again. I should have held this one. We're back up into triple digits on QNTM. It's looking to take out 17s. It's now put in a higher high above the previous 5-minute candle. So now we have higher lows and higher highs. I think this one is just destined to take out 18 as the high of the day. It feels to me like just a matter of time. Shout out to Nick Dub. Sharif, can you look at serve? Of course, Nick. You're a chat OG. You get what you ask for. SCRV. Oof. Okay. So SCRV dropping down a little bit here, but what I do like about this, and you know, Nick, I wouldn't trade this because it's below VWAP, it's below the pre-market high, so that breaches my rules. What the silver lining, though, my man, is we're bouncing off yesterday's closing print. The closing print on SERV, let me throw in that ticker, was 1605, or I believe that's what it looks like there. SERV, excuse me. There we go. Throw that on there. So, I mean, I'd take it as a bounce trade here, and then I'd have a super tight stop below 16. And you're already getting a move up, Nick. You're already getting what looks to be a mean reversion trade back into the 16 mid-teens, so you would have been already 15 some odd pennies in the money. This is, if it's a long for me, and I wouldn't take it long under my system, I want to make that crystal clear, it would be a $16 hold. If it prints below 16, cut it. For a mean reversion trade was exactly what I was thinking. So we're thinking the same thing, Nick. Shout out to you. This guy's, you all right over there, bro?
Look at
You're taking a page out of my book.
Bro, I told you, yeah, man. I'm telling you, look at this thing go, man. I mentioned this. The stock is too good. It's too powerful. You just have to be patient. And sure enough, it will recover. It was trading like a dog's breakfast for a long time. But now we're back, man. We're back, and we're swinging it. Brankles is swinging it, so he's
Remember
killing
wants
it,
to
man.
know what that means, bro. She's like, what?
A dog's breakfast?
Yeah, she didn't like that comment. She doesn't know what it means.
But it's
Like it not good?
Yeah, obviously. Like, would you eat a dog's breakfast?
Ram, you wouldn't engage in canine food.
There you
wouldn't
guys,
eat canine
man.
food, would you? So then probably you get
know what I mean? I don't know. Do you put? Okay, let me ask you this here, Sharif.
Go.
I know you got. Oh, my grandma was listening, and she made a good point. Betty and Veronica, right?
Yes, sir.
From the old comic book.
Yes.
Hey.
I thought you knew that.
I didn't know that,
You
man.
didn't give me a reaction, so I was like, okay, he doesn't care.
No, I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? Their name is that, but then she's like, from the old comic. Oh, okay, all right.
I bought him off. Remember Williams Landing back in the day? So it was a manager who used to work at Williams Landing. It was a boyfriend.
LV
girlfriend.
Williams Landing.
Yeah.
Bro, that was my spot.
Yeah, it
Come
was
on.
everybody's Liberty Village, bro.
That was my
No,
spot.
seriously though. So they were doing a lot of shifts. So like we can't because he was the morning manager, she was the night manager. I got him like at 4 or 5 months old, and then like we can't take care of him. I only went to buy one. I went to buy Betty, and then like no, we don't want to split them up.
We don't want to
like
split 'em up.
they're attached to each other. Yeah. So I'm like, well, how much are you gonna charge me for that? I ended up striking a deal.
All right, so you have 50% off the second one there. But it's okay. So what I was getting at here is, do you put is it wet food or dry food that you feed them?
A mix. So I have duck and potato, dry food.
Do you put the wet food in the fridge?
Yes, I do.
What?
I do. I don't know. Is that not supposed to?
I don't know, man.
I don't know, bro. Like you're not supposed to do that. Oh, so Andre is telling me in my ear right now. He's like, the dog doesn't like that. Cat.
He doesn't like the wet food.
He doesn't
I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh, he doesn't like it because he puts it in the Well, you
fridge.
got to see my dogs eat, Andre. I'm pretty sure they like it. I'll take a video.
I don't know how I feel about the dog food in the fridge, though. That's just me, man. That's just
I
me.
just throw it in the fridge. I don't know what I didn't know I was creating like controversy over here. I just threw it in.
All right, man. That's all right.
All right, Joseph, we got to get to some super chats. Eddie D, $5. My man dropping the cash. Love you guys. Thanks for that answer on whistling. Weaseling, my man. In and out, LOL. Shout out to you, my man. I appreciate you, Eddie D. Jack, $1.99, dropping the cash in the chat. Tesla, going up, guys. You're the large cap trader. Joseph, give them your
let's go
look
about
on
Tesla. Tesla is going up a little bit here as well, too, guys, but NVDA is going up. We're going to take a quick look at this, what we got cooking up over here on NVDA. That breakout volume came. We were talking about it. That ascending wedge looking really nice, broke through some key resistance levels, and that volume really stepped in on the lower. I don't know why I point, like you guys can see what I'm pointing at all the time, but here we go. But yeah, guys, let's take a look at Tesla here. I was just thinking to myself this morning, and we were talking about AMD as well too, just kind of not being set up for me for my style of trading. So it's a dead stock in my works, okay? You're not getting those rebounds. Like you can see consecutive session after consecutive session, choppy mess, topping price action, and then pre-market you sell during the intraday. Pre-market, you sell during the intraday, etc. And it seems to be the exact same case here for today's session on Tesla. Will it recover? I think so. But as of right now, you got to take a look at it from a daily perspective as well, too. And ask yourself, is this in breakout territory? No, you're running into key support levels. I would be looking for a downtrend. One thing that we can do here, though, guys, is this, right? The most simplistic form of technical analysis right here is just drawing a couple trend lines, and then when you break to the downside of key levels, then maybe there's going to be some more in that specific direction, and that seems to be the case here on Tesla, opening below those key support levels, Sharif, and then now continuing to sell and moving southeast. I think there's going to be some more downside. We are about to run into some key resistance levels right here. Let's see if those hold up and we get somewhat of a bounce there, my guy.
That's an ugly downtrend.
Ugly, man.
An ugly downtrend.
Hold on, before we go to you real quick, let's take a look from a percentage metric, how far we are off of those highs.
How much
25%.
Jeez.
Dang, 26%. Not cool.
Tesla can do 25% in 2 days.
In like in a couple days, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. But wow, look at this NVDA really go here. But I know lunch is on Branks for sure. That, yeah.
Yeah, he heard you back there. I heard about that trade, Brent. Shout out to you, my man. All right, we got another super chat. Chet GPT, I like the name. Been saying NVIDIA calls all week, boys. Hope everybody banked. Yes, there are lots of people on the floor who banked on NVIDIA. That's the guy we just shouted right now, the floor manager, Brenkles. I know that he had a hell of a trade on NVIDIA. We're going to shout him out and hope he continues to print into the, obviously, into the new year. Guys, there's a whole bunch of names that are moving right now. And I'm having trouble choosing. So maybe you guys can help me out. Here are the small cap gappers I'm looking at. Quantum, QNTM, we've been involved in all day. Apps we're involved in. LTRY is a big winner on the day, but it's given up the ghost right now. It's no longer tradable under my system because it's weaseled south of that $1 area. And by extension of that, obviously the volume weighted average price. So this one might lose its spot. On the side chart, what I'm keep looking at right now is Rich Tech Robotics because it looks like it wants to take out that high of the day. If I had a flat top break animation, I'd hit it. This looks like a flat top break with higher lows bouncing off that 20 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. I'm talking about Rich Tech, and look at that 285, 287 flat top. This looks destined to take that area, and if not, hit 3, maybe even go more than 3. It's up nicely on the day, 20.75%. It's by no means the biggest winner at all, but it's giving you a predictable kind of setup. AMSC, I was kind of very excited about this one. Now we're kind of getting this lower high, higher low situation. It's a bit more expensive, AMSC. So if you want a big boy size, in order to make that money, you're going to have to ante up a little bit more here, AMSC. So that's the look there. Aurora Cannabis just lost the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. So let's see what we can do here with your boy, ACDangB. Let's refresh this bad boy so we can see. Okay, so it's holding up at the 20. In fact, the closing prints are what's holding up above the 20. Look at these wicks. They come into another predictable area, that 6 1/5. That 6 1/5 acted as support over here. Once we had that big bull flag move up, look what the low end of the consolidation zone of the flag was, 620. Lo and behold, the bottom wicks over here pop or bounce off 621 and 625. So ACB might be along here. Now, How do you get in, and what's your risk management? Well, to me, I observe it to be holding above the 20 exponential moving average on the 5. So what I do was, if I was to punch in here in the low 30s, the mid 30s, I'd have to, by default, risk 15 pennies to the break of that 20 penny area. I just finished talking about how 20 pennies was that area of support. So you got to give it to around there. If you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you could get stopped out and then have it move right back up, maybe even touch or take out the high of the day. So A, C, dang B, definitely in view for me over here. Definitely going to keep an eye on it. Shout out to Pretty Panda. RR, completely agree with you on this one. Patient pays. I know you called it out earlier, dude. I was involved in the other two. I really wanted to get into RR, but I didn't want to manage too many trades at once, especially with these small cap gappers, because you know how volatile they can be, and you definitely have to make those decisions there. Dangerous Nile. Nile, eh? All right. Dangerous Nile. Shout out to Dangerous Nile. He already in ACB, he says. Shout out to you, dude. I mean, it's been a couple of days play. Right now, you can see the umpteen amount of bull flags. We had 3 consecutive bull flags yesterday on Aurora Cannabis, starting in the pre-market there when they reported earnings right at 7 o'clock. We got that big boy spike, and then we had that consolidation zone, and then right at 8:30, boom again, we went for another bull flag. And then guess what? Right at the open, we consolidate a little bit, hold the 20, and then boom again. We take a third bull flag. We had 3 bull flag patterns on ACB yesterday. I perceive us to be in maybe 1 or 2. Here's why I say 2. Look at that move up right at 925, 930. That's kind of the first move up. We give back a little bit, come back, defend that 540, 550 area, and then boom, we're in the second bull flag right now. So Aurora Cannabis bull flagging up a storm, it seems like these past few days. We'll get involved with this one if it sets up the right way. So that's my look right now. Shout out to Dangerous Nile. Respect to you too, my man. What's other people? What are you guys looking at? Everybody's yelling about Stressla. So let's have a look at the Cybertruck right now. Okay, Joseph, it just retook the volume weighted average price. It looks like it might be on its way into that 370 area. Now, I'm all eyes and ears on every other sensory perception that I have at 370. Reason being, it's a $10 level, the whole dollar level, and look at that gnarly consolidation zone, area support that we had in the pre-market. Now, I know it's the pre-market, it's on lighter volume, but it is still important to keep an eye out. 370 could be an area. Now, 369, we're gonna have to talk about 369 before we can talk about 370. That's been a level as well. We rejected 369 at 1035. And now we're doing a 3-candle hold up at 369, but looks like we just took it out, and now we're at that 369 $0.25. So the Cybertruck might be on one here. We'll have to drive on up to Adira to find out what she has to say.
To buy prop firm match. Are you a skilled trader but lacking capital? Prop firms offer the opportunity to trade with simulated funds, allowing you to showcase your skills. Access account sizes ranging from 5K to 500K, and you can start with as little as $20. But with over 500 prop firms out there, how do you know which ones are the best? That's where Prop Firm Match steps in, because Prop Firm Match is your go-to platform for finding and comparing only the most esteemed firms with proven track records and consistent long-term payment histories. So access over 4,500 verified reviews, explore payout histories, and discover the best current deals all in one place. So scan that QR code, visit propfirmmatch.com today, and find the perfect prop firm for you. And then we have the NASDAQ here. So we made basically a double top here for that, the QQQs as of basically where we closed yesterday. Lower highs here for the NASDAQ, trying to hold support right now around that 526, almost 527 level. We'll have to see if that continues to come to fruition, but basically flat on the day. S&P 500 slightly stronger. And there is so much news to watch out for. We did have reports here that U.S. Steel and FedEx execs are set to meet up with Donald Trump at some time today. We also had some comments from the Hong Kong Post and the Hong Kong government saying that they do not want additional tariffs here on Hong Kong products. And they said they're going to continue to suspend postal service for items containing goods to the U.S. So Hong Kong Post does not even want to be sending items to the U.S. here, which I think is pretty interesting. Keep an eye on FXI, KWeb, and all of these Chinese ADRs. Also, EL on watch. As you can see here, we got a pretty violent spike to the downside with an increase in volume. And so this one here moving on L'Oreal's Q4 sales. L'Oreal did actually have slower than expected guidance. So keep an eye here on EL. Also, I'm just seeing Unity on watch. People are hearing about a partnership there with TM. I am not seeing any news of this partnership. So if I see anything more, I'll let you guys know. But Unity on the move, you to the upside. And then also keep an eye on ARM. ARM did have earnings, so earnings day one, but also ARM is potentially moving here as well on reports that there's going to be an expansion of the Stargate project led by OpenAI. They're not leading the project, but they are apparently leading this expansion. So keep an eye on ORCL, MSFT, ARM, and VST with that in mind, guys. And make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the awesome content that we're trying to bring for you every single day. With that in mind, back to the Bash Brothers.
Appreciate that, Adara. All right, shout out to Daniel T. Rivian, respect VWAP, Fubo, tanking. So I'll give you one, then I gotta get up and go on a little escapade. Rivian, let's have a look at RIVN. It's holding VWAP, brother, and it's not just VWAP that I perceive it to be bouncing off over here. Look at this pre-market high zone. So from around, let's just say 850 or so until 1030. We were kind of using that 1290, 1295 area as a bit of a resistance level. Then we clear it. We get all the way up into 13 and a fifth, almost 13 and a quarter. I'll submit to you, though, the real resistance level is at 1310, given that the closing prints are all in and around there. So if we hold VWAP, I'm looking for a move back into 13 now. It's not giving you that much. I mean, we're trading at 1292. We're talking about a 1310 level. So that's 20 pennies, you know, of, I don't want to say guaranteed, nothing guaranteed, but, you know, possible predictable profits. That isn't that much, right? You're going to have to size up heavily here in order to make some money. So it's not the best setup, personally, just given the risk to reward. But, you know, you probably don't need to risk that much anyway. So if you were to get in here, Daniel, which is around 1293, give or take, you could give it to the area low. There's a trough right there at 1285. So to make 20 pennies, you could risk about 10. That's 2 to 1. That's not too bad. Now, I don't know if there's a Rivian headline. Let's have a look over here to see if there's anything that could, you know, help propel this one forward. There's a Lucid headline. What the hell? Let me just have I don't mean to digress, but Lucid Group reported record deliveries in Q4 with January 2025 sales up 51% year over year. The company sold 665 vehicles in January, including 50 Gravity SUVs. That's the one that I've been keeping my eye on there. That's the one I want, the Gravity. But yeah, that's kind of a light number. Yeah, sorry guys, I was just looking to see what Lucid was up to. Nothing for Rivian, Daniel, for me here. So it would have to be a technical break. And yeah, it's not something I'd put a whole lot of stock into. I think there is better setups out there rather than chasing this one on the date. Joseph, what do you got?
Yeah, good look there. Stevenson in the chat, man. Congratulations to you on hitting those milestones. So good work, brother. I've seen what you did on options and for your funded account challenge. So congratulations to you. You're going to get the money storm on that one there, my guy. One thing I want to talk about here on Tesla, and I apologize because I missed this trade here. A really nice 3-minute play, 3-bar play, on Tesla. So it's like, okay, you get this really large engulfing candle right here. A breath in the underlying asset. Let's zoom in here. So engulfing, breath, and then that second leg higher. This is the entry for me. Been studying this for some time. So that retest and hold of those key levels almost to the penny is absolutely beautiful, as my guy Obi would like to say. So nice hold and break there. Let's see if we can start to run into some key resistance levels here. I think we're going to mark out that 370 for a psychological aspect here on Tesla. But guys, one thing, we're going to talk about PLTR as well, because that thing is absolutely monstrous. You know, for the whole week, we've been saying 110 for this thing, and I think that's going to be a case. I think it can go to 1.25 at some point in the near future. But let's pull up NVDA and see what I'm looking at from a candle-by-candle analysis, and especially the volume prints here, the volume by time. Hey, this is a really big print, so could this be exhaustive volume? As of right now, it looks to be the case, because that's outsized signature there. Let's see if this is just going to be a pullback or it's done, because we have this really big engulfing with that candle and then a doji right here. So a pullback to VWAP, I wouldn't be surprised if that comes into play, but only time will tell on that one. So yeah, that's it. Josh J, you know what, dude? IBIT, yeah, I don't, Bitcoin, so like IBIT is sitting in the realm of AMD and Tesla for me right now, not paying any mind, it's just not in place. So also volume increasing on Tesla for those 3 minutes. When it goes up, Gorev, bang, you know exactly what you're looking for. I don't need to question any of your analysis, my guy. So yeah, good look there from Gorev. But then let's pull up to PLTR. Just what a, like range bound here, but what an absolute monstrous run this thing's at. Now all-time highs. If you were to have the ability to catch the bottom of this range, and then now you're just continuing higher, you're almost $1 in the money from that point. And I do think that we cracked this 108 at this pace. It's continuing to climb higher. Imagine if the Qs and SPY were relatively strong as well too. This thing would be north of 110, I think, at this point. So on this pace, looks like it's gonna hit 109 at least on the session, and it's only 12 o'clock. So that's the look there on PLTR. Now,
like the food.
what is it?
It's a lot of carbs.
What is it?
I don't know. It's macaroni or rigatoni, whatever whatever. I don't want to call food back. But and then
Tortellini.
there's what is it? Tortellini.
And then the cheese sauce.
There's what's it called? Ground beef with sauce, with tomato sauce, and then there is garlic bread.
Oh.
Like that's a lot of carbs.
It's a lot of carbs, man. That's why we gotta hit the. Yeah, we gotta hit. That's why you gotta hit the gym, man. If you're gonna, well, I'm not saying you, but that's why we gotta be steady.
Andre's like, protein's expensive. Yes,
Yeah,
I know, Andre.
Yeah, I mean, chicken isn't horrible. But yeah, guys, what was I gonna take a look at now?
right.
I totally no, it's all right. It slipped my mind, but that's okay. IBIT. Let's pull it up here. Yeah, I mean, Josh J, IBIT off the bottom. I mean, that's not a horrible look here as you see that volume increase. But one thing that I'm finding when this thing's in bearish trends here, Josh J, those signals don't really reflect or respect them as much as like a common stock or an actual equity would. This is a little bit different, and the volatility in Bitcoin is really vast, so it can just blow through these prints like nothing. So just be wary of that. As of right now, it's looking like we're gonna go and test those holds. So that turnaround here in IBIT might be a little bit prolonged, brother.
All right, the OG Darwin just let me know something. Unity, just Unity chosen by Toyota Morgan. Come on, bro. Motor Corporation for its next generation human machine interface, HMI, to enhance the in-car experience. Here is this is Donald John Trump. DJT is breaking out. I don't know why. It's up 3 and change. It's breaking out right now through 31. But let's have a look at Unity. Let's bring in the side chart. In case you're wondering why I'm making those weird noises when I say Unity, well, it's from the Chappelle Show. So if you know Chappelle Show, you'll know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, just follow along. So yeah, good move up there for Unity. Look, Darwin, I mean, it's light on volume. It's picking up a little bit over here, about 500,000 shares, declining though. Neil, Unity got a headline, by the way. Unity, yeah, nice. Now the boys are chiming in. They know what's going on. 2180 high a day on Unity right now. The closing print, I believe, was 2111. So shout out to the OG Darwin for pointing that out. We're going to keep Unity up on the side. And this is the headline that he was talking about, Unity to develop the graphical user interface for Toyota's in-car human-machine interface. I don't know what human-machine interface is. Is that just like the regular software that we see in the display? I'm not really sure. So we'll keep tab on a cold-blooded Ike release. He knows what's up. He knows what's up. Shout out to my man there. So keeping an eye on Quantum, as you can see, because it's still putting in that $16 defend, despite the fact that it weaseled down into 1580, but got bought up quick as you like. This is Donald John Trump. This is the 5-minute look here on Donald John Trump. It's lighter on volume, guys. I mean, DJT hasn't done too much. Let's see what the volume is right now. 2.67 million, you know, for a 30-some-odd dollar name. Not that great. Not seeing any. Oh, hold on. There is. Okay. Well, there's just so many Donald Trump headlines. I don't know which one to click here. Donald Trump once said Bitcoin was based on thin air. Okay, that's not it. Trump media files to trademark investment products targeting Bitcoin. Okay, so this is obviously Trump media. DJT is what we're talking about there. Yeah. So this seems like it's a headline. This came in at 11 and change. Let me just make sure that that's accurate. No. Yes, it is. So that came in at 1108. 1108 is when I see that for the first time right there. So Trump Media plans to launch Bitcoin and Made in America ETFs starting this year, being reported by the Wall Street Journal. I'm assuming that is the reason we're moving up on DJT. We'll keep tabs on that one, though. DJT breaking out into the highs, about 3%. But, that's nothing given what we've seen DJT, do in the past. QNTM just popped through 17 again into that 17.5. Good look here for this name. It's still well off the highs that we took it out at. So 18, if this breaks 18, then it's likely going to squeeze more. And then that's probably when I'll get involved with it. Here we go. 17 and 2/3. We haven't been up here since 11:40. So going on about more than half an hour right now. QNTM up triple digits again today and looking to do more. If that 18 breaks, you better bet your bottom dollar I will be looking to get back in. 2 New York cents, not good for BTC, he says. Okay? Made in America ETF is exactly what I've wanted, Smokey Love says. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, I can't tell. Escape Planet. News maps is Trump, Musk, Trump. Okay, I get you. Yeah, the news maps are a lot of Donald Trump, but more so when you click on DJT and then get all the news feed for DJT. It's obviously going to be a lot of Donald Trump. No, it goes without saying there. So that's the look right now. You spelled klepto wrong. Come on, Fairchild. Come on. I got you. It's a funny one. I'll give you that.
Okay,
it's a bit of a side slapper.
Yeah, smoking vape. Stop doing that, man.
What happened?
What were you doing?
Well, look. I'm going to look at it for you, but you got to promise not to spam the chat anymore. Or we're going to...
ADL. What's up, ADL?
ADL doesn't like people when he spams the chat, man. ADL's an OG, and he knows what the rules are. TEM. Not a good look on the day. I mean, we're looking Tempest AI. I think, isn't Nancy involved in this thing?
It's not up. So
Adara. Is Nancy Pelosi involved in Tempest AI? That's the one she's involved in, confirmed by the human algo. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a good day for it today. It looks like a sell-off. The deeper retracements look like they go into the 20 exponential, which is the yellow line. The more shallow retracements seem to magnetically reject off the 10, which is the green line there. So Tempest AI down 5 and 2/3 right now, Joseph.
Yeah, good look there, brother. Gorav, man, the superstar this guy is. He's like, Joe, listen, I took some off the top here, but we got to pay attention to the volume by time profile. He said, dude, look at this. That 5-minute volume is dwindling on this pullback. And look at this, man. That's almost like really, that's high-level TA right there, in my opinion, from Gorev, and he's not wrong at all. So let's zoom in here and see what we got cooking up and kind of dive a little bit deeper into this. So as you can see, nice steady volume, and then we get this breakout volume here, which I thought was slightly exhaustive. But Gorev's like, no, dude, check out that 5-minute volume here. We're continuing to dwindle. So that's really promising, and sure enough, a nice recovery. Are we going to go and punch the high a day? I don't know. Only time will tell, but that's a good look here. We're only up about 2.3% on the session in NVDA, and I mean, this thing can put in a 4% day if it really wants to. And then I don't know if anybody's shorting this thing right now, but I mean, hey, if it starts to get a little squeeze action and we get those gamma squeezes for those contracts expiring soon, then by all means, that can definitely happen in NVDA. But just keep in mind, man, we have 100 million shares traded as of 6:30 this morning. So probably a little bit more than what we got going on our screens. Excuse me, but I mean, this thing is starting to move and starting to recover, especially off of being down 17% at those lows, losing at its peak, $700 billion in market cap. That's insane. This company was #1 until that happened. It got dethroned. It's still too good. Just because it fell off a cliff for a little bit, it's still safe. And I think this thing is still going to be a shorter duration type play to the top side. A lot of analysts have a 200 in front of this name. The PE is still relatively cheap, cheaper than it was before when it was significantly lower. So, I mean, the street thinks it's inexpensive. You got NVDA at a lower PE, and as well as Google trading at like 22 times, Sharif, which is absolutely insane. So that thing is still cheap, and that's why we're going to be focusing on some of these big names that continue to sell off here, but now are recovering.
All right, we're in Donald John Pump right now. At 37s, already wet my beak a couple of times. Here we go with 50 pennies. I'm now waiting, and bang, we take out 50 pennies. Donald John Pump is on one right now. Keep your eye out on this one. We could squeeze easily into 32 bucks. 4% we go on DJT, so keep your eye on Donald John Trump. It is headed to the upside, or so it seems. Again, light headline on it. If you're wondering what it is, let me read it out to you again. Where the hell is it? There it is. So Trump media files to trademark investment products targeting Bitcoin and other U.S. industries. There was another headline there there it is. Trump media plans to launch Bitcoin and Made in America ETF starting this year. This is being reported by the Wall Street Journal. I'll open up the thing so you guys can screenshot and read the entire article if you want. I'm not going to obviously read it right now because, well, we're doing the show. So that's no good. So we're long Donald John Pump. Let's see if this one wants to move up into that $0.75 area. I think that's the next area where I'm taking profits there. So DJT on the way up at the high of the day. And there it goes, taking out more highs right now. Wow. DJT about to take out 60s, showing me 6. There it goes, Joseph. DJ Dang T on one. Now we're looking at 62s. I'm going to be taking it out at 75. Let's see how high this one wants to fly. We're going to keep an eye, though, on QNTM because we're still holding the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 on QNTM, despite the fact that we rejected 17. DJT's moving, guys. Wow, we just bounced off the 20 again. There is a buyer here at 16, and we've been seeing this buyer over and over and over, and it doesn't give you that much time at the level. Look at that. Wicks off 16, then boom, right back into 16 and a fifth, 16 and a quarter. Yeah. So, maybe this is one of those ones where a resting order would do me some good with also a resting stop, because if my order gets triggered and the bottom comes off, well, I don't want to be, I don't want to be caught holding the bag, not even knowing I'm in the position. So QNTM on one right now. DJT keeps going and going. Let's throw an order out at 69. So we're going to throw out something there. Oh, no, I took everything out.
No.
Oh, crap. I did it again, Joseph.
Oh.
So annoying. Oh, geez Louise. All right, whatever. Get it, Redneck Pepe. Shout out to you, my man. Hope you're doing well today and killing it. Guys, another one that we kept talking about was Rich Tech Robotics. Where's that? RR. So this one ended up taking out that 285 or that 286 level or whatever. And now it's using it as defense. So I wonder if we hold up here, and maybe I should weasel in here for a $3 break. Rich Tech Robotics is on one today. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going long here, and then it's going to be a super, super tight stop. 284. Doesn't hold 284. I don't want any smoke, right? So we're gonna get in there, and we're going to throw out some orders, likely into the high of the day. Let's throw those out, and then we'll throw one north of 3. So there we go. So RR on one right now, looking for this one to hold up above a previous area of resistance. I perceive that to be 286. Let's see if it does, or if it doesn't, we'll try to put the odds on our side. Jarhead Trader, LTRY curling. Have a look, my man. I've got it up on the side chart, brother. You know how I do with these small cap gappers. But this is the thing, Jarhead. It spent a hot minute below VWAP, right? From all the way from 1105, and now we're still below, but we tried an attempt at it at 1215. This has got to get above VWAP and stay above VWAP. I don't want to be on the end of trying to anticipate a VWAP break only to have it do exactly what it did right there, which is pop into VWAP and then drop back. Let it close above VWAP. Give me a closing print on the 5 above the volume weighted average price. By definition, I won't have as good of a price, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice in order to get that kind of, I don't want to say guaranteed because there's nothing guaranteed, or at least that put the odds on my side by having this trade above VWAP. And those are my 2 rules, right? Pre-market high, if there is one, and then trading above the volume weighted average price. So definitely keeping LTRY on the side chart. We'll see how this bad boy does And we'll get involved with that. Agree, not in, but on watch for me. Absolutely, brother. It's on the side chart. It will remain on the side chart so long as it's straddling VWAP like this, because it could take it at any time. Your point well taken. Let's go back to QNTM over here and see how this bad boy is doing. Where is it at? There we go. We're still zigging. We're still zagging above $16, but most notably, all the prints above 16 or below, excuse me, bought up quick as you like. Whether or not we continue to make higher highs, I'll submit to you that we had a lower high this time. So that 18 print where I got out last time, that's the best print of the day. And then we weasel on up into 17, 60 and change. And then it's a lower high. So we'll keep an eye to see if we keep making those lower highs, because that might be trouble. We'll see. We're not gonna wax poetic about anything right now. And we'll see exactly how that one does. Joseph, how's it going over there? Any more prints on NVIDIA you want to share?
High. No, nothing high, man. I should have added right here. I don't know why I didn't. That's why I didn't do the reloaded there, man. But that's okay. That's okay. I mean, DJT, man, congratulations on that one. That thing's soaring. But I don't know how that would reflect like Bitcoin. You said Bitcoin ETF as well too, or something.
Well, I didn't want to read the entire thing.
Yeah,
we're on,
it was lengthy, right? Yeah, I understandable. But I mean, it mentioned Bitcoin, which would usually send this thing to the top side, but it doesn't seem to be the case today. I think the overall sentiment in this is kind of mixed. We've seen what it looked like from a daily perspective here, running towards those lows, guys. So I mean, how many times are we going to test this 92K? On spot itself before we break through it? Let's pull it up here and see what we got going on. Before we break through it, I mean, so we got a double top here. Yes, it is range bound, but I think at this point, if we crack this candle here with that isolated volume, then there's going to be some more downside. So at that point, you just got to figure out what the next level is, and that's like 73, which isn't too pretty. I don't know if we go that low. But I mean, look for the 80s, I think, at some point after that. So lower 80s. But again, only time will tell. If it decides that it wants to bounce, this thing can go at any, at any time. And I expect nonetheless. So here we go. I mentioned this before, guys, just the length of this consolidation phase. But then the move after that wasn't the best. So I'm like, okay. And then now we're kind of back in this period, been stuck in this range for the better part of a couple months now. So it's just like, all right, at what point are we going to pick a direction on this thing? So yeah, again, matter of time. I think Sean mentioned this as well, too. He's like, man, you just need a catalyst, and then this thing can definitely start to roar to the top side. But I mean, DJT, man, wow, Sharif, you're all out of it, man. All right, he's not in it anymore. Let's pull this thing up here, going up towards 5% on the session. That volume is supporting this move here, so not going to chase it all the way up here on DJT, but those who are involved in it, congratulations to you. And if you caught that breakout on the news, then it looks like you're having a pretty good Thursday. So that's something that we definitely like to see here. So,
one more second. I'm just going to send myself an email because I want to show. Remember that Palantir thing I was telling you about?
Yeah, that Palantir you want to talk to me. All right. So yeah, for sure. Let's see a new name in the chat. Don't see you too often. Mile H Momo. Good morning, Sharif and Joe. I'm watching AAPS, QNTM. LTRY, or is that TLRY maybe? Okay, you got a lot going on there, so I'm not going to read all those tickers. Done trading today, though, guys. Just billing scanners. Nice. Good luck and thank you. Congratulations to you. That's it, man. Hit your profit goals and then just go enjoy the rest of your day. So that's a big part of the name of the game. So yeah, glad that you had a solid one, and hopefully many more to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so
here it is. So this is on X. It's by a person called the Long Investor. Not making an assertion whether this is accurate or not. They have this little chart over here. We'll get to that in a second. But here's what he says about Palantir. Palantir made a net profit of $77 million last year. We're talking about 24, okay? Not projections. $55 million of that 77, according to this person, again, not vouching for the accuracy. You guys got to do your own homework. $55 million of that net profit was from interest. So his assertion is, or their assertion is, Palantir made $22 million in net profit from operations. This is not a typo. They do not make money. This is a bubble. Their market cap is $236 billion on $22 million of net profit from operations. Again, don't want to make the assertion that this is accurate. You got to do your own homework. This is kind of how they're showing. We've seen this before. Brendo showed me one of these before. I think Adarish had some of these before, where Palantir income statements and the infographic that kind of comes along with it. Again, you know, you really need to be careful with this because we don't invest in the past, right? We're investing for future profits. We're 5 years, whatever window you want to look at there, 5 years, 7 years. And obviously, there's a lot of interest in Palantir. So do your due diligence, but I thought I'd bring that to your attention because this thing is definitely on one from the price action side there. Guys, the Playmaker poll is now active.
A little late.
It's a little late, but it's okay. I clicked long as I usually do. But, you know, the two major averages are in the green. One's flat, the Russell, and the Dow's down 1/3%. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Everyone knows the number, says Dragos. Okay, that is not accurate at all, says Eric Barkhurst. I'd love to hear your opinion, Eric. Respond. You know, give me your side. Let's have that dialogue back and forth. Smoky Love, but fundamentals don't always follow price action. Well said. Absolutely accurate there. Let's see what else people are talking about. That person sounds like a hater, says Indeed Money.
I need money, man, my guy.
Alex L, there we go. Alex L, what do you say right there? Palantir, everyone knows it's overpriced, overhyped, but it keeps going. Another very good point. It does keep going, and so short it at your own risk. And I really do mean that, short it at your own risk. So we'll keep tabs on that. All right, guys, I took a print quickly there on Rich Tech Robotics. It's coming down, though, into my entry after breaking through that 94s, 95, the high of the day. We've already given this one a very tight stop, excuse me. It's going to have to defend 86. I perceive 85 to 86 to be that area of previous resistance, so it's going to have to act as support for me to stay involved in this one. I'm keeping an eye on Donald John Pump. It's still headed to the high side, baby. Good look there. So we're still long Rich Tech Robotics. So, got stopped at apps. So for the last remaining amount there as it breached VWAP. But if this one reclaims VWAP, if it's just a quick wick below, we'll get back in. Profitable on this one, only had one more out. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Joseph, DJT keeps making higher highs and higher lows. Where is it at? There it is. So we'll see if this one rejects off 32 bucks. It is now up 5%.
Hey, good look there. Guys, yeah, I just want to talk about the overall market here and just what's kind of going on. We know we had the likes of Microsoft trading significantly higher in the morning, as well as Meta and NVDA. But essentially, we've been stuck in this range. It didn't participate. So you have some other names like Apple and Tesla that were slightly bearish. Well, not slightly, they were bearish in the opening drives. Excuse me, but I mean, here we go. I think at this point, if these big names continue to sell, we're going to see some key support levels broke here on the Qs from an intraday perspective, that is. So we got to be wary of that. The Qs were not participating in that monster run by NVDA not too long ago throughout the session, as well as Palantir. And not like Palantir is going to move it, but Microsoft had a strong 5-minute opening drive. So did Meta as well, too, guys, for that first hour of trading, going higher and higher, and the Qs were not participating. So it's lagging for a specific reason, and it's our job to do the due diligence to find out why. We got to look at breadth of the market and see what everybody else is up to, because as of right now, it's not looking too good. So that's the look there. We'll pull up Meta real quick as well and see what we got going on. So punching through VWAP here on the session. So again, some more downside, but are we all-time high? Did we touch all-time highs on Meta? Yeah, we might have. Here we go and see. Yeah, so again, a new all-time high today from Meta, putting in a peak around that 719, 718 there. People using his apps every day. That's like 40% of the world, 42% of the world.
Crazy.
Which is absolutely, like, you got to think, that is absolutely insane. So, I mean, this thing is going to continue to climb higher and higher, I think, in my opinion. And with Reality Labs, they're coming in with the Orions and whatever it may be. But here we go. This thing is yet to split, guys. Since it was founded, I guess, or its inauguration into the market, it IPO'd. It still hasn't split. So I'm really curious. Going to wait how much higher we have to go on this thing until we can start to get involved. Because I think if it does a 10-to-1 out of 1,000, a lot more people are going to start to get buying these things. Because I know I would want to. A little more expensive for my liking, but does that really matter if the company's that good? But Sharif, DJT continuing to just soar here, man. I gotta stop talking about it. But I mean, here it is, guys. 32 and change is DJT. Let's zoom out and see what we got going on from a daily perspective as well, too, guys. I mean, it's nothing outstanding, right? Like, you are bouncing off some key support levels, which is really important, but we're still not anywhere close to those all-time highs or yet even last year's highs as well, too, guys, late last year. So a lot to go on this thing. I think it's a kind of a meme stock, right? It's like the new GME kind of. I don't know how good fundamentally this thing does, and I don't think it is very good, to be honest with you, from what I read upon it before. So yeah, that's the look on DJT. See if we can continue to move here.
Absolutely. DJT is going, guys. We're going to have to get involved in this because this is squeezing here. I was anticipating we would have like at least a bit of a pullback at the $32 level. We didn't get it. So as more eyes come on this, I think we're going to continue to squeeze. Let's find out what the short float is on DJT quickly here. Let's load up trade ideas. Load. All right, we'll wait for this one to load now. It's really moving up. We're squeezing, guys, into that 3 1/4. Good look right now. What's going on with trade ideas? Hello, bro. Is it open? Oh, that's why. It's open over here. Okay. Just allow me a second to show this window on all desktops. There we go. DJT. We don't. How do we not have a short float on DJT? That's funny. Okay, so I don't have a short float on it from Trade Ideas, so that kind of sucks. So I'll look for that in a second on eSignal once we have that opportunity. But man, we're gonna have to punch into DJT, dude. It keeps going higher and higher. Wow, this was like, I was in this $1 ago. How is this already $1 past my entry? DJT, nary a red candle, but it's getting really extended away from the 10 exponential on the 5, and I use that 10 exponential on the 5-minute chart as an informal gauge of it overbought and oversold conditions, and this one looks like it's really on one right now. Every time I look, it's a little bit higher. Let's just, yeah, we're gonna have to punch in here. Let's get in and see if we can scalp maybe into the mid-30s. Let's throw out some orders. See if we can move on up. What's my move on this? I mean, I'm punching in at highs. I'm going to have to give it a random area where I get out, right? Because there's really no areas of support at this level because we're so far away, extended away from any other print. There we go. We just took out some of the highs there. Let's see if it continues to go. Donald John Pump is on the way to the high side. Strobe 9, DJT short float about 12%. Where'd you get that information? I'll have to keep my eye out on my other platforms, but I'm not getting that right now from Trade Ideas. So we'll have to, once I send it back to Joe, I'll have an opportunity to look. But we're going to see if DJT wants to move into that $0.50, quite extended. I'm not going to let this go against me because it's too far away, extended away from the 10 exponential. I already feel a little bit risky punching in up here on DJT. So that's a look right now. DJT, we're still involved in Rich Tech at 290. It seems to be holding it. So DJT is now breaking down into the 20s. Let's see if this one wants to come down maybe into the whole dollar. And then we can add some, or I'd rather just take it out here. And if it breaks through 15, and then just get back in at the whole dollar if it wants to give me that. So I'm going to throw out my order right now. We'll throw it there, and then we'll go like that. So we'll throw out the order, see if this one wants to hold. Yeah, it looks like it's going to pull back a little bit, which is okay. So topping tail candle right now on DJT, looking like 32, 35s. There we go. We got stopped out for the little amount there on Donald John Trump. But if it defends 32, I'll get right back in. So we'll keep an eye out on DJT. Let's go back now to Rich Tech. See what this one is up to because it's coming into my that support area. So this is the area where it's going to have to hold up. So Rich Tech Robotics, this is the area it kept rejecting. So if it doesn't hold this area, I don't think I want to hold on to it. I'm not going to hold it into VWAP. VWAP is all the way down at 272. So the 10 exponential, we've already below that. That's 88s. And then 84s is the 20. So this is the area where it has to hold up. Otherwise, I want nothing to do with it at the moment. Keeping an eye on DJT as it comes back into 32. Let's see if it defends the whole dollar level and then starts curling back up. Could absolutely be persuaded to get back in. Joe, what are you looking at?
Oh, yeah, I'm actually looking at some META right now, guys. 2NY, we're talking about it right here. META, I don't know. Right? So yeah, let's see. This is just why I'm kind of looking for somewhat of a bounce. It is expensive, so you just gotta like really size down on this, which is okay. But I mean, here we are, a nice hammer off of this pullback. Primary trend still intact here. seems to be the case. So holding these levels, this hammer right here we're playing off of, so you know that we're in at the break, and then if we break 709, then just going to get out of dodge there, reassess, and then maybe the turnaround might take a little bit longer. But that's the game plan here for Meta, because I think it's going to be relatively strong and continue to be, especially tapping those all-time highs. So that is the look on META. Guys, I bit off 558. Wish me luck. Yeah, let's take a look at that for you, Josh J. Let's see if it's ready to turn around just yet. And on my notes, I'll show you guys in a brief second here. I had 3 main ideas on the session, and that's what I like to break it down to roughly. Don't want to have too many names going, because then I'm just like all over the place with it. So, but let's take a look at IBIT. Okay, so you're in at a good place, Josh J. 55.80. Oh, 55.88. Like a bit off 55. Okay, so hopefully you meant 54.88. Because that 55.88 is all the way up here. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you meant 54.88. Nice turnaround signals here. We were talking about these bottoming tails here. So that's really important. As sellers push the price down, you got buyers pushing it back up, and then you kind of get that rounded bottom type price action. Looking for it to test the volume weighted average price. So any pullback in this name would be, I'll take it. I mean, let's see if we can get back up to VWAP, and then we'll proceed from there, guys. What else was I going to take a look at? But we'll talk about that in a second. But we got Nimrud here, our guy, always sending in that currency I have no idea is 1790 PTN. Yeah, sure. Let's take a look here for you real quick before we send it back to Sharif. So Palantir. Okay, so Adira was talking about this earlier, and so was Sharif. So really nice move to the top side. Not the most liquid, but when you've seen that catalyst hit, the algos start to kick in, and then the more liquidity comes within this ticker. But I mean, it's not something that I would necessarily look to be trading, Sharif. I don't know if you traded at any point today.
Sorry, bro. Just
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Give me a second.
Yeah. Okay, we'll continue here. He's working on some orders, I'm assuming, over there.
Yes, sir.
So, let's take a look at it from a daily perspective and see what we got going on. Okay, I mean, like, hey, the volume is stepping in as we break out, which is really important, obviously. Strong signal if you're looking to trade this, especially from an intraday perspective. But I mean, it might have cooled off by now. So we'll see what Sharif's up to.
All right, we're long. Where are we long? 97s here. Took out some at 10s on DJT. Let's see if this one wants to defend 32. It's zigging. It's zagging. It's back above that $32 level. Sorry all for all the ins and outs there, kind of distorting the chart. It's going to have to hold this level, so my stop is below 90s. It's already breached 32, and then it's put in a hammer candle. So if that hammer candle ends up being false, well, then I don't want to hold this one against me. So we're throwing out the orders there. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we're gonna give it a couple of more shekels. There we go. We'll do just like that. There we go. So DJT order in. Let's see if this one wants to continue to squeeze, or we're gonna get stopped out for the remaining amount. I'm keeping an eye on Quantum, guys. QNTM. Shout out to Mad World, like that $2 super chat. Shout out to you, my man. I'm keeping an eye on Quantum. It's looking good, but it's going to have to continue to move above that $16 level. If it doesn't hold above 16, it ain't for me. So we'll keep tabs on that. Let's take a little bit over here on Donald John Pump. All right. Now we're showing 16s. Where am I waiting? I'm waiting at 19. So let's see if we can cross over here. There's 19s on the ask. It's got to cross for me to get printed. We're long 97s. Let's see if we can weasel on up into that 20 penny area and then cross. There we go. Now we get the print. Okay, decent move. Let's throw out some other orders right now and see if we can weasel out some more on Donald John Pump over here. Now it's showing me 21s. So now we've got a green hammer candle above the $32 area, but it's not forthcoming in the same way that it was earlier. So a couple of candles of indecision. The top one, the doji candle that printed at 1235, that's the candle of indecision. Then it was followed by a hammer candle, which currently is a yellow, which means neither green nor red. So let's pack our patience on this one and see if it wants to continue moving up above that $32 area. It is a little indecisive at the moment. I'm still involved in Rich Tech, and it's been holding up at that 1285. It hasn't breached it. That's the level that I'm interested in on Rich Tech, and I don't mind adding at that area. I haven't added anything quite yet, but that's the area where it kept rejecting initially. off this area, and then we cleared it. And now we're kind of holding it over here. I'm talking about Rich Tech Robotics at that key 285 area. It's not giving you too much in terms of a move up, but it was quite predictable, or at least it felt that way earlier on once it was making that move up, especially with its areas of support and resistance. So let's see exactly if DJT wants to pop back up. Now we're back into 18s or so. The spread's a little wide, though, on DJT, so you're going to have to cross in order to get printed. But I haven't had too much trouble getting the print, even though it didn't cross by that much. So we'll see exactly. I appreciate you, Daryl. We'll see if I continue to have that problem. There it is. Boom, to the high side. We take out the $0.25. Now I'm waiting at the third of a dollar. Let's see. Showing me 29s now. Can it cross that 30? So that's where I'm waiting there. It's showing me 24s. Now it's showing me 29s. It was showing me 30s ever so briefly there. So someone is selling in and around this area. Now the $0.25. So it's putting in those, I don't want to say higher highs because, well, actually, we did get a higher high above that previous doji candle. So maybe we can continue to move up here. 35 pennies the high of the day. We just got into 30. So there's likely people trying to short up here. Let's take a couple of more out. Okay, let's just weasel some out there so we can lock in some profits. We got some shares on, much larger than I typically take on the show, and I don't typically take large shares on the show. Okay, so here we go. 30s back incoming, possibly 28s. 29's showing up there, Joseph. Let's see if this one wants to cross. We'll get that print at the 30 penny level. Boom! There we go. We take out some out. Let's now put some above that high of the day. I'm going to hang out at 39s. Whatever. Who cares? Let's see if we can get that move. So Donald John Trump taking out the highs there. There is a catalyst catalyst on this name. He's going to make ATFs, and boom, again, we take some out. Let's see if we can take out some at 40s now. All right, that's where we're hanging out. The 35 penny is no longer the high of the day because we just took out some there at 37s. So let's see if that one wants to continue to go. 6.5%, Joseph. Not a bad looker for Donald John Pump.
Yeah, nice there on DJ Pump there. Here we go, guys. Let's see what's going on with Meta. It's looking like we're going to break that 5-minute candle here to the downside. We're going to hold on until otherwise, but if it does, then we're going to get out of dodge on this one and not worry too much about that because the market is really, really choppy today, guys. Those are the 0 DT condor type days, I think, at this point. So speaking of that, we're going to pull some stuff up here in a brief second to see what we can cook up here. So what we would want to essentially do is find the top. We're going to want to find support and resistance at the same time. And then we're going to want to look at some strike prices along those lines, all right? So let's take a look here. So we're going to call the low of around 526. So we're going to go to that 525 strike price here on the Qs and see what that's offering, if it's even worth it to even construct that, and see what we're sitting at from a delta standpoint as well too, guys. All right, so that's interesting, about 0.2 delta, which is interesting for that 525 short put. So that would say, guys, and we're going back to the credit spreads, is what that essentially means is that if we were to construct that iron condor, is that as long as the Qs don't close below 525, you can collect the premium here, which is around $36, or in options terms, 35 cents, which is really interesting. But you got to also hedge that position. So to purchase that contract, oh, okay, that's really interesting. 5 points below, constructing a 5-point spread is about $6. So $31 on that bull put leg there, saying that the Qs are not, by the end of the day, are not going to close below 525, which is very interesting. And I mean, not a bad credit. I really like that trade from an intraday perspective because that's expiring today. So the closer we get to the end of the session, the quicker theta is going to kick into those contracts and really diminish the value of them. And that's the objective of the trade, is to allow those contracts to expire worthless. So all my options traders out there, hopefully that's something that you can agree upon, that it's going to be tough maybe unless the Qs completely capitulate at this point, that we may get that close above 525. But guys, let's see what Adair's up to.
This part of the show is brought to you by Hive Digital Technologies. Hive Digital Technologies, which is trading on the NASDAQ as HIVE, is pioneering the digital transformation through sustainable AI solutions in Bitcoin mining. A global leader in cutting-edge data center operations with over 2,700 Bitcoin on their balance sheet, Hive consistently tops the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash and is redefining the future by powering the world's most transformative technologies with efficient, green, and clean energy. Learn more by following them at Hive Digital Tech or at HiveDigitalTech.com and sign up for the Hive newsletter for updates. Back to the Bash Brothers.
Very much for that, Adara. Do you ever, you're not on Facebook, are you?
No, sir.
You like action right now, and we're still making highs. Katina, man, there's a DJT headline in case you're wondering why we're talking about the pumped one. We're looking for a move above that 40 penny area. That is the high of the day, 39s, and that's where your boy got the print there. But now we are in a bit of a consolidation mode. What I do like about what's happening is Juan F says our mics are cutting in and out. Do you guys hear that on your side there?
Yeah, a lot
Best
of people
production
are saying
team in the
that
world.
too.
Well, Ram has she's gonna find out, and then if she wants, she'll let us know.
A lot of people are saying that.
A lot of people are saying that, Ram. So yeah, we'll find out exactly, guys. Thank you for letting me too. Yes, people are saying yes, it is happening. Tell them to refresh. Ramin says so. You guys want to hit that refresh button on the browser. Thank you for that. Lagging and cutting out, people say. Freezing up, people are saying. Okay, I'm having trouble hearing you. Okay, we're really sorry about that. We're definitely looking at fixing it. Yeah, Dad Hack says the same thing as well. Ram's looking. Just give that a refresh. She's on it right now. We do apologize for that. They're on it right now, and we'll get that taken care of.
People are saying it's YouTube as well too. So
it's YouTube.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I refresh it.
It's
the
fine.
Katina man, he says he refreshed it. It's fine on his end. Everything is good apparently. So just give that refresh as well. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, people are saying it's fine. Perfect. I don't get Sharat Rahman. Yeah. Come on now, Sharat. Can you check Tesla, says Mr. C. So polite, man. So polite. Absolutely. What's going on over there, Joseph?
No,
the Katina man's back, and he's $1 in the money on
Palantir long at 117.
Palantir long 117.
Sorry, 107.
107.
And then NVIDIA 125.
NVIDIA 125 and 3/4. Joseph, you were about to say something. Go ahead, Katina man. That's it.
No, I'm just looking at the chain, brother. That's all. I'm really
No worries, no worries. Let's have a look at the Tesla. Guys, Uber's on one. Uber's about to get to $70 right now. Uber's up 6 3/4, guys. This is a hell of a trade off $60. I kept telling you guys that $60 was the level. It gets defended on even an earnings miss. Apparently, it was about. See that, Katina man? Yeah. All right. So Uber's on one right now, guys, and it's a good looking name. TSLA. Let's throw this out there. So I like this, Mr. C. It's a good look right now. It's got higher highs. It's got higher lows, but an upward channel after retaking VWAP. And the best part about it is we've cleared that 369 level. I am still a little concerned with this 370 level from the pre-market acting as resistance, but it kind of looks like we're on our way to 371, especially when you zoom in. We've got higher highs and higher lows, so it looks like an upward channel. TSLA is still decidedly red on the day. To go green, it's got to get up into that 378 1/4 or so. Yeah, it's at a bit of a tough level for me to give you a recommendation just because of the 370 area I earmarked as possible resistance. So take your shot here. I'd like it possibly off, maybe try to get it off the 10 exponential moving average, which is the green line. Once it pulls back into the 10, have a resting order that maybe shadows the 10. Like on my platform here, I can click this buy button and it lets me move my orders to wherever I want it. So I could move it, into the top of the 10 exponential. If I want to shadow the 20, I can move it down into the 20. That's kind of how I do it on my platform, but everybody's got different ones, and let me know if that works out for you guys. All right, we're still holding Donald John Pump, but it's having trouble with $0.33, Katina man, and I'm not really sure what's going on. We're waiting here in the high 30s. It's still got higher lows, but it feels like if it's going to break, it's going to be a flat top because it's got kind of a resistance level in the 30s, maybe the high 30s, low 30s. Let's see what we get here, Joseph. DJT trying to make some money on this.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, man. Good luck there. So, Sharif, I'm on cell phone, 5G, don't miss a beat, Bluetooth in ear, while building stuff and swinging trades. That is carpenter building cabinets from
That's
scratch.
my guy.
Let's go, Redneck.
That's my guy,
Redneck.
man. Shout out to Redneck Trader. Is that his name? Redneck Trader?
Yeah. No, Redneck Pepe.
Pepe, that's right.
Pepe.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, man, way to multitask there and put in the work on the side as well,
man.
too, guys. So, nice work, man. That's what we like to see, Redneck. Here we go, guys. That's his name. That's his name.
We're gonna get big by YouTube.
All right,
the channel's banned.
All right, we can't say his name anymore. All right? We'll just call him Pepe. We'll just call him Pepe from now on. But I mean, guys, here we go.
Wasted.
Wasted. Yeah, that's it, man. So here we go, guys. Off of that meta low. All right, man. It was done 20 seconds ago. We don't.
It's Ram, bro. Look at her. Look at her.
That's all right. She's good. Yeah, she's laughing.
Sinister being, bro.
Yeah, wild. But I mean, here we go, guys. Bouncing is meta off of that low. You gotta send it to you, man.
I'm sorry, Joseph. All right, bro. I know, man. They're busting your chops, but that's what they do around here. That's kind of the look. All right, but for real though, Redneck Pepe, for real. Thank you for joining us. And when you're around, obviously throw in what you're looking at there in the chat, and we'll be more than willing to shout you out. You know who else does this, Katina, man? Who works and watches us? The big spiled one.
There we go.
Big spiled Burdett. He's not with us right now. I don't think he's in the chat, but he's always doing his iron work, his steel work, whatever he's doing over there. And then he's got us in the ear, and then he's using his hands to make money and put food on the table for his family. So shout out to the spiled one. I don't think he's in the chat today. Maybe he is. Hey, Shaky Trades. I appreciate you, man. Very nice question. A very nice comment by Shaky Trades. I don't know about your name, though. Shaky Trades? More like Tough Hand Trades. Let's go. Let's see. There was a question there. Amr. Sharif. Question, can you please explain why you got into Rich Tech Robotics at the day's highs? Great question, brother. Let me show you exactly why I did. I perceived this 285, 286 area to be a level of resistance. And it was multiple times it was tested. Look at these, 284 rejections, 285 rejection, 286 rejection. So this mid 280s area, I perceived it to be a level of resistance. Now we cleared it. We got into that 95 area. So I said to myself, look, there was clearly somebody selling up a storm at this mid-80s area. I wonder if it actually flips to act as support. That's what we know about technical analysis. Oftentimes, the area that's acting as resistance, once it's cleared, it'll act as support. And that's kind of why I got in there. And that's why I added at 86s. I'm barely in the money. I mean, I'm flat on it right now. It's showing me 89s. I'm long 89s. You know, this one, I'm not giving much in the way of room at all. So I've put my order already below 82. So we're risking very little here for a possible break above 3. And that's kind of my thinking there. But great question. Why would you punch in at highs? That's something that I always ask myself as well. There has to be a real good reason why you're punching in at highs. That reason could be the volume's going through the roof and it keeps making higher highs and higher lows, like what I did with QNTM. It kept moving up, 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 and that's the squeeze. You have to participate in the squeeze. This isn't doing that. So the reason I'm in at the highs on RR is completely different than why I got in on the highs on QNTM. But there has to be a reason why you're doing it. I hope that helps. We're going to go to Adair right now. She's got a crypto update.
I do have a crypto update. First, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin because this looks actually pretty rangy on the 15-minute chart. I mentioned this a bit earlier, but I mean, look at this. So we've bounced 3 times off of 96.4. And every time we've basically rejected off that 99.2 area. So these are areas to be aware of on this chart. Clearly, Bitcoin here fighting support at 96.4. So what happens if we drop below 96.4? You look here on this chart, the 15, the next level of support is going to be just below around 96, but then even lower, we've had some previous support there at 94. So basically what I'm trying to say here is it seems very important that Bitcoin hold on to this level because there's a little bit of depth below, we'll put it that way. Let's take a look as well here at the daily chart for BTC. So as you can see here, we mentioned this earlier, 99.2, also a rejection level on that daily chart. And if you look here, with the exception of that drop into 90,000 back on Monday, we have consistently held support at 96. So if we break anything near 96, as mentioned earlier, it would be pretty significant for Bitcoin, so be aware of that level. Also, I wanted to go over that Trump Media and Technology Group story again, because this story actually came out at 8 a.m. This was not a midday release. The stock might have reacted later, but it did come out at 8 a.m. Then Bloomberg reported a little bit more about it as well. But basically, they're going to be launching their America First themed ETFs. And basically, apparently, this launch of TruthFi is part of Trump Media Group's overall fintech strategy. And also, this investment, it includes the $250 million investment to be custodied by Charles Schwab. So SHW is always a party to remember, or SHCW, Charles Schwab, keep an eye on them as well, because they're also a part of this story. But basically, here are the trademarks that they filed. TruthFi Made in America ETF, TruthFi Made in America SMA, TruthFi US Energy Independence ETF, TruthFi US Energy Independence SMA, TruthFi Bitcoin Plus ETF, and TruthFi Bitcoin Plus SMA. So Bitcoin, definitely a part of the strategy, guys. Be aware of that. Back to you.
Great reporting there, Daryl. We're going to thank you for that very much. We'll keep an eye out on, we'll obviously keep an eye out on those ETFs should they make it onto the market, and then how they perform. Obviously, I'm sure that'll be the focal point of a lot of the media's attention. So we'll definitely keep tabs on that. We're still looking at DJT, but who's I talking to there in the chat? Give me a second. Freddie 5000. He's like, DJT feels like it's going to fall. I kind of felt the same thing, Freddie, and I've moved up my stop to account for my entry. So we're long 97s. I'm giving this to 88s. It's showing me the $0.25 right now. But the deal is, Freddie, I think we definitely have some resistance, as the French would say, at that 30 penny area. Despite the fact that we wicked above it, we've gone to 39s. Look at the closing prints. They're all, if not all, are south of 30. That's the bad side, so that we've got that resistance level from the top side. What's the good side here? The good side is we're putting in higher lows on the candles. So you're getting that buyer exuberance, picking it up at, higher and higher prices on every pullback. So we could get a flat top break here, and that's what I'm gunning for. And that's why I've layered my orders in the fashion that I've had. You can see those red horizontal lines with the circles in them. Those are resting profit takers because, these ones, they don't spend that much time. It can wick up into 50 pennies and then drop back into 20. And then I'll be like, oh, I should have taken it out. And I didn't. So that's why I'm doing that with these resting orders now.
Oh, tree.
Yeah.
All right, let's bang it right now.
Yeah, playmaker poll?
Yeah, let's get that in because it looks like the SPY might break, so we need to log this one here.
All right.
And then we're in a banger in meta as well too, guys. Yeah.
Get it.
That's all right.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
All right, we're ready. Got 40. Wow. We gotta celebrate. We gotta do something for this.
What?
Data point number 40, Sharif.
Okay.
Yeah, that's almost 2 solid trading months right there.
605.
Right. 605.
75.
75 is our entry.
Yes.
Our target price being.
We're taking 607.
607.
75.
Sounds good to me.
We've been in a consolidation range. I don't know if we hit this. And then, Joseph, we're taking it out at 604.75. So that's actually a really good area to take it out because look at this consolidation area low. Can you come to my screen for a sec, Andre, if you're able to? Just a quick, look at that. That's the low right there, Joseph. So we break that low, we're out.
We're out.
But it'd be nice if we defend that
picture
low
perfect
right
stop right there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I think we break higher here, especially with the market moving higher. I'll cover meta real quick and then I'll send it back to you,
Yes,
Sharif.
sir.
So we'll see what we got going on. Gorev, man, check this out.
Get it, Gorev.
Yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. So here we go on meta. I referred to you guys, hey, look at this hammer. So here we go.
Weird.
Guys, nice strong trend here. And then we pull back and then, Jesus, you're fist pumping here. Everybody's buzzing right now. So here we go. Nice hammer candle off this. Down off the low here. And then now punching back through VWAP. Let's see what Sharif's got going on with DJ.
We took out the top, but we're going to send it to Fabian. He's got something to say.
All right.
Fabian. Ram.
Do it.
Just a reminder to like and subscribe, and share the show to all of those people that are asking questions.
I love how they're sticking their head in. I love you guys, man. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you, Fabian, for that, man. That is Fabian, the dude with the best hair on this floor, bar none. If you like his hair, like and subscribe, please. I know there are a lot of people like his hair, so a lot of people should be liking and subscribing.
I could use some of it.
Joseph. Guys, we took out the top on Donald John Pump, and we are up 7%. Here we go, Adara. We're waiting on the north side of 50. Get it, Katina Man. You see ACB? Katina Man, it keeps making... The Katina Man's hitting the weed. I don't even know. I thought he was in ACB over there, but he's not. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. There we go. Boom! Taking it out again. Get it, Donald. All right, now we're going to wait.
Too.
Pardon me?
I said taking me out with it. Jeez.
Sorry, Joseph. I'm a wild one. All right, so we just took out the high of the day again on Donald John Trump. Now I'm waiting in the mid-60s and the low 70s. We're layering the orders here on DJT. We're positive as hell on this name. The Katina Man's long in video right now. He was taking, Joseph's been long all day, so he's had that with you, Katina Man. So both of you guys killing it today on that. Shout out to the Katina Man who just got back from the swim.
No, I didn't.
You had a meeting. That's fine. Yeah, I figured you guys were at the meeting because Neil didn't do his lesson of the day. All right, so we're waiting right now, Joseph, in the mid-60s. Let's see if DJT wants to continue moving on up. We're up 7%. Adara gave you the headline. Now you know exactly why it's moving. I was incorrect in saying it came out late. It looks like it came out early. Shout out to Adara for fact-checking me. Do appreciate that. It's kind of hard to, keep your eye on everything. Ryan Felipe, DJT, hitting resistance. Thank you, Ryan. I'll keep an eye out on that. I've moved up my stop, as I mentioned earlier, to break even. And in fact, I probably will move it up a bit more to capture some profits there if this one does come back down. But that 50 penny level, as we always talk about, the whole dollar, the half dollar, for these small cap gapper type stocks, I know it's not strictly a small capper, obviously, with its what's the thing on this, the market cap? But these small cap gapper style stocks, we got to trade them a little bit different way. It's a $7 billion market cap right now on Donald John Pump. So we'll keep tabs on this. And then, that's the look right now. Joseph coming back down a little bit into that 30 penny area.
Yeah, for sure. We got something here for you too as well, my friend. So Aura Alpha, Sharif,
yes, sir.
Been following your trades for years. Recently, I repeatedly found myself in your trades at your level. Love the progression and the passion. Bang.
I really appreciate that, man. Always trying to improve. I mean, I think every one of us can kind of say the same thing.
Yeah.
Always trying to be a bit better, trying to, learn a little bit from the past mistakes. Having the big kahunas next to us obviously keeps the bar very, very high. And so that's kind of the beautiful thing about being on the prop floor here, man.
Yeah, it is the beautiful thing about that. See, G Castro, that's what happens, man. You spam the chat,
Sorry,
you get
G.
timed out, man.
That's how it is,
that's
baby.
how it
You
goes,
don't
man.
spam
You
the
can't
chat, baby.
spam the chat. So live and learn. So we're maybe.
We're all having a good time today, baby.
It makes me laugh sometimes.
He needs some milk.
Yeah, he needs some milk. You see that? You see that when Buddy broke? Remember that show Scarred on MTV or something along those lines?
I've never heard that.
It was a brutal show, Scarred. Yeah.
Scarred?
Yeah. It
hear
was
about
people
that one,
just breaking bones and stuff like that. Fail compilations or whatever it is. But here we go, guys. We're all out of meta right now. So nice grab off the bottom there. That's what we were looking for. And then now we're going to go pull up at some NVDA here because we are starting to form another ascending wedge. As you can see, we're forming those higher lows, which is really important, and against some key resistance levels. So I think it's only a matter of time until this thing breaks. It's either going to go one way or the other, which I mean is pretty obvious. But here we go. Like the SPY and the Q is continuing to climb higher, also running into some key resistance levels as well, guys. So we're going to keep an eye on that. But I mean, with the likes of Microsoft, NVDA, and Meta slowly inching higher, then I mean, what else are you going to think? Like, we're going to break out here on the overall market. So I think it's just a matter of time until some volume steps in and we pick a definitive direction there, Sharif.
Anthony Vitale. All right, one of the Katina Man's boys, and maybe you're related to the Vitale that was behind us here. He's no longer with us. We're talking about Big Patty Ice, who's been watching the show a lot lately, man. He sent me something to send you. I totally forgot to send it to you, but I will.
Oh, my God.
It was one of the comments that you made. He actually got a movie clip from it, basically echoing what you said. Anthony, we are in Toronto, baby. That's where we're at. We're downtown Toronto. And if you're ever in the area, let us know ahead of time. We'll give you a tour of the place. We'll put you in contact with some of the people on the other side, and more than willing to show you around and say what's up. So that kind of goes out to our viewers as well. If you're in the Toronto area, you want to tour the place, definitely message us ahead of time. And don't just show up. And we'll definitely accommodate that. We always have some of the amazing viewers that we have from all around the world, man. We had ADL come in.
Okay, ADL was here.
Remember Nimit came in, and he gave me this from Singapore. Still got it, Nimit, right here, my man. I don't know if he's watching right now. Still got the keychain that you made. We've got people from all over coming in and saying hi.
South Africa, there's people in South Africa.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, man.
Of course I believe that. So yeah, shout out to Anthony.
How tall is everyone?
How tall? Most of us are like in and around like high fives, low sixes. I know that the Katina Man 6, I'm a little bit shorter than the Katina Man. I think you're 6'1", aren't you? You're 6 exactly. I'm like half an inch shorter than the Katina Man. 6'3" in high heels, he says. Another person who's tall though, especially for a female, Adara Dang LePage. Get it, Adara.
Transition, but Nike selling off. I have no catalyst on this. All I'm seeing here is people confused on social media. I don't have any news. I'm not seeing anything. And yeah, basically just people flagging this drop or people being confused about the drop. If I see anything news related on Nike, I'll let you guys know. But this is quite the drop, especially with the volume uptick here as well for NKE. If I find anything else, I'll let you guys know.
So I just got to send a quick message off to the team for some next rundown tickers, guys. META 32. What else do we got? What else should we throw out on there that has in? Oh yeah, we got to throw this on because we got that in the afternoon. And what else do we have on earnings? I think I just put Amazon there. Katina Man. We got Uber too. I can throw iBit up there as well, and then bang, that's it. So next poll coming up, guys. NVDA, Meta, Amazon, and iBit. Complete slappers on those ones, so good luck there, my guys. So yeah, guys, considering we're talking about this, we have Amazon after the bell. I think that's one that we're really looking forward to. We know Sharif was referring to cloud as well, so AWS being that. Let's take a look at some of the expected moves here in some of these big names that we got rolling after the bell. So pull that up here and see what we got going on. Oh, back one here. Just give me a second. Cooperate with me. So, guys, yeah, I mean, with Amazon, looking forward to this one. Unfortunately, this isn't a stock that I bought a long time ago when I knew I should have, but I didn't. So it is what it is. But here we go. We're looking at a 6.1% expected move here in Amazon, guys. So really interesting stuff. I think that's reasonable. I know Sharif has the data to pull up previous moves as well too, so maybe we'll take a look at that as well. But one thing that we are going to do is going to look for high levels of open interest on this thing. So I'm pulling up the chain and just seeing what we got. So I mean, as of right now, 250 is in the works with 21,000 open contracts, but then also 12,000 volume on that as well too, the highest amongst all. So that might be a target for Amazon, is that 250, but then also 245 as well too, guys, with 15,000 open contracts, closer to 16. But then let's see what we got going to the downside. To the put side, we got 220, only 12,000 open contracts right now. So I think that big print that we're going to be looking for is that AWS growth. So we're going to continue to monitor that until that report comes out. But I mean, 210 is the low with 24,000 open contracts. So surpassing the put side, which usually, the call side, which usually tends to happen. And for all my experienced options traders as well too, guys, you're going to pay a little bit more premium for those puts. So just be wary and be patient. So that is something that we'll be monitoring very, very closely, because a lot of these big tech names have sold off on the reports. So let's see if Amazon is going to join that party, because I would like this thing to move higher, because I'm pretty sure it's going to drag the overall market with it too.
Joseph, there's a seller of note here at 60 on Donald John Pump. And we've been rejecting this area here. It looks like a hidden seller, so we reject it there, come back down into 50s. I'm waiting on the north side of 60. So 60 now is the high of the day on DJT. And yeah, let's see if it moves back. Okay, so it's dropping away now from 60, so I can't see the size at 60. Let's see. Okay, 58's now showing up again, because there's just not enough size posted on the level 2 on whatever gateway to account for the umpteen amount of prints I was getting at 59s and 59.5 on the time and sales. So there's certainly a seller a hidden seller, an iceberg order, we call it, at 60 pennies. That's my perception of things right now on DJT. I'm waiting on the north side of 60. I don't want to take it out here because it's kind of a random area to have resistance. So if we end up rejecting, I'd like to hold it here and to see if we can move back up. So we drop back now into 40. So that's a little annoying, but that's normal there. Auto Antics are going to go up now. Well, I hope so, dude. I've been holding. I mean, I did what I needed to do. I added at the area that I perceived there to be support. There you go. There's the ad right there. It's weaseling back into 90s, but I'm still going unprinted here at 80, at 96s, 302s. It's having a whole lot of trouble taking out these mid-90 prints. So pack our patience and see what we get there with Rich Tech. Back to Donald John Trump. Here we go again. 58's now showing up. I just saw a quick 59 wick and drop here on DJT. Let's see if we can get the squeeze finally above 60. Maybe I'll get printed. There's 60. 59s now again. So definitely a bit of a tug of war happening right now between buyers and sellers at this level. But while we wait, we're going to pay some bills, Joseph Wilson.
Hey, let's go, guys. Worksport, introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ. Worksport, ticker WKSP. Worksport is a U.S.-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP, discover the future of clean energy with Worksport, guys. Yeah, and speaking of Worksport, let's see if we can pull it up here and see what we got going from a technical standpoint as well, too, Sharif. On a daily standpoint here, not the most liquid, but that's okay. Let's see what we got going on. I mean, yeah, it's off the bottoms, guys, so not horrible look here. Holding those lows really well. Now appreciating, so up a couple 100% off of the lows. So yeah, Worksport, there it is, guys.
Yeah, Worksport, absolutely, man. Shut them out. Definitely one of the amazing sponsors. And then when the Katina man gets the Rivian, he can get that tonneau cover. So we've been waiting. We'll show you guys that tonneau cover in a second over here. I'm sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on DJT because now we're dropping into the 50s. So I'm thinking, do I move down my order from north to 60 and then put it like at 58s, 59s, get the print a couple of pennies lower and then wait for that top break and then wait for the 70 print that or the 70 order that I have out there? That's kind of what I'm trying to decide here. I'm going to feel awfully silly if this pulls all the way back, but it's not showing me the pattern that would make me concerned about pulling back. And just as I say that, it drops into the area low. It's still putting in higher lows. That's what I'm talking about. So area low, area low, area low. And then, we're zigging and zagging over here. That's my thinking right now on DJT. Pretty Panda, what a snooze on RR. I know, brother, but you know how these ones have a tendency of like lulling you to sleep, and then for whatever reason, the algo gets turned back on, or that big buyer comes back from lunch on Wall Street or wherever the hell he's eating lunch, and then boom, punches in, and all of a sudden we're taking out levels. I've seen it before. That's what's keeping me kind of optimistic that we may take out the tops there, Pretty Panda, that is. On Rich Tech Robotics is what I'm talking about. RR is this trade over here. It's having a lot of trouble with 90. You can see that. It hasn't been above 90 pennies since 12:30. That's 45 minutes ago. So we're going to keep an eye out on that one. I don't really have anything else on at the moment in terms of a trade. QNTM, I should mention, is at VWAP. And it's got a 2-candle hold up right now at the volume weighted average price. This is the one I'm looking at right here. This is the big mover that we had into 18 bucks. It's now back to 15. It's holding VWAP. This is also an important price action area. It's not just VWAP that gave us that bounce last time. There was, looks like 14 3/4 support there. I want to see if this one bounces off the volume weighted average price. I could absolutely be persuaded to get back into QNTM. Could be an interesting area here. Now, if you were to get into QNTM, what's the move? So I wouldn't be too strict with my stop placement. It's awfully volatile. It's, it can definitely take out your levels. And it's already bouncing up off VWAP there by about 50 pennies or so. If you were to gauge that 14 3/4, now we're printing 15 1/4. So not a bad look. So my stop would go below these 2 candle lows over here. So and you would have to risk about the 14 and a third, 14 and a quarter. That's $1. But this can give you $3 like that. So you could theoretically have a 3-to-1 risk to reward. I mean, theoretically you can have anything, but practically on the day it's giving you 18, right? So if it takes out the high of the day, well, there's your risk to reward there. Donald John Dump is coming down now. Okay, so that's kind of why I was putting that out to you guys. Do I take the fill at 32.60s? It's now down to 30s. It's at the 10 exponential. I've moved up my stop. So my stop is no longer 31.70s. It is break even now, 31.97. So it's going to have to hold up here. Otherwise, we're getting out of Donald John Dump right now because it's at the 10 exponential. It's going to have to hold 32. Nothing below 32. I don't take it below that. Let's see what else. Cameron Lumen, can you please look at SMCI? SMCI is on one today, baby. It's up 6.5%. It had a good day yesterday, and it's having a good day today. Here's a look at SMCI. It's a bit of a compression pattern right now, but it's basing its higher lows. I was going to say VWAP, but it doesn't look like actually it's respecting VWAP because it breached it here. It looks like it's respecting the 50. There's your 50 bounce, and then you have another 50 bounce. I'm talking about the 50 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. But you do have a compression pattern in the sense that you're getting these lower highs, but by the same token, you're getting those higher lows, okay? And this is kind of like a bull pennant, right? When we look at it, the 15, it looks a lot cleaner as a bull pennant, right? See that? Kind of, you know, actually the 10 probably look a little bit better. Let's see with the 10 here. Yeah, so not bad. Not bad. Let's see if it breaks up above that trend line. It's been respectful of the trend line. I mean, look at that. That's, you know, you don't typically see that often. Wait for a break of the trend line, then I'd say get in. If you don't want to base it off the trend line, I'd say wait for it to make a new high. So anything above 34 bucks. Kind of hard to say. Or that's a breakout trade. Otherwise, I'd be looking maybe at 33 and a third. I wouldn't base it off VWAP because it doesn't look like it's respected VWAP. It looks like it's respecting the red line, which is the 50 exponential moving average on the 5. So that currently, the 50 exponential is 33 and a third. So that would be my move. I'd look for either the trend line to hold or the 50, or if you want to breakout trade above 33.90, 34. Let me know how that goes. DJT still holding the 10 exponential moving average on the 5, but I am a little concerned that the bottom drops off here, especially with the amount of people that are going to be looking to short this. Because the news headline, like, let's be honest about it, I don't know if it's really market moving. So we'll see if this one is just a technical breakout or what the situation is. It's trying to hold above the third of a dollar right now, so we'll keep tabs on that. Pro Day Trader, DJT option call scalp would have been beautiful. Dude, the option guys over here, I'm ignorant. I'm not, aside from just very basic stuff when it comes to options, it's not really my game. But, I don't mind learning. It's just that there's the very little time amount that I have right now, to be honest with you, to learn anything new. I'm learning Mandarin. I'm reading a couple of books.
Lots to go on there.
Man, the book that I'm deep into right now, it's called The Lean Startup.
Okay.
Wow, bro. For anybody who ever aspires to own their own business or to open up a business, it shows you how to keep everything super lean and learning from the actual process so that you can make micro adjustments for that product. Yeah, The Lean Startup. It's a great book.
Who's it by?
I forget his name. I'll give you his name in a second over here. Fantastic book, Joseph. Let me just load up my Spotify. The name of the author is Eric Ries, R-I-E-S. I think I'm saying that right. It's called The Lean Startup. Yeah. Fantastic book, bro. And, if anybody's interested in that, obviously have at it. It's really opened up my eyes to a lot of different nuances to test your theory in the marketplace and have the marketplace tell you whether you're right or wrong about certain things. It makes eminent amount of sense. What do you got over there, bro?
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, NVDA about to climb to a new high a day right here. So 28 and change is NVDA, dragging the overall markets up with it as well, too, folks. So we don't got too much of this thing left, but we're going to look for this punch through the high. That volume on the lower time frames, you know what I'm going to say, it's starting to pick up. So good look there. You can see this price compression pattern on NVDA with that flat top, but we are forming those higher lows, guys, which is extremely important. So just keep that in mind. I think I mentioned this time and time again, and I may sound like a broken record at this point, but this company is just still too good in order for it to be down where it was. I mean, overreaction, that's what happens in the markets, but you also have to have the ability to take advantage of it as well, too. I know Brankles is just monster trade there, and then as well, swing a nice little swing. So, I mean, that's what it is. So, continuing to climb higher, and some of these other tech names aren't doing as well. So I'm looking at Microsoft, looking like it might break through some key support levels as well too here, Sharif. We're gonna take a little, hold on, let me do something on, and then we're gonna pull up some Microsoft and see what we got going on there. Take some off here. Okay, so now let's take a look at Microsoft and see what we got going on. Running into some key support levels, as I just mentioned. Is it gonna crack, or is the overall market gonna drag Microsoft back up with it? Nice opening drives out of it. You can see this 5-minute orb for all those 5-minute orb traders. Really strong move all the way up here, and then putting in somewhat of a double top. Now giving back some of that move. So you want to look to see if that 416 level holds, or if it breaks, it might drag some of the market down with it. But I mean, cracking through the highs now is an NVDA, and as well as Google looking really well. Identical patterns were NVDA and Google in that price action pattern, forming those higher lows, guys, and now breaking through. We talked about this thing from a daily standpoint and how we had that isolated volume signature and that doji print at the low. And I think that this thing is going to recover, and it seems to be the case. Neil and Sean said, man, hey, this thing is going to bounce off some support levels this morning to me. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. I'll pull up my notes here and show that those were my primary ideas. And I just avoided IBIT because I didn't like the pre-market price action, but I just threw it in the game plan as well, too. So there's that. Google here gapping down on earnings report, daily close candle, extreme doji, possible bounce territory. And sure enough, here we go. Bounce. Yeah, 191.62s there. So on Google, recovering really nicely here, Sharif.
Yes, sir. Yeah, if you guys were asking, I'm using Duolingo for Mandarin, but yeah, there's a nice feature with the advanced ChatGPT app. If you get that, if you get the advanced voice option with that $20 a month subscription, you can actually have a conversation back and forth with it. And what's funny enough is ChatGPT is familiar with Duolingo's lessons and sections. So it'd be like, okay, can you believe it, Ram? So you can say to it, oh, I'm in section 2, lesson 5. That's the extent of my knowledge. And so it will only use lingo that goes up to that section so that you don't feel like you're out of the loop. And go ahead.
Dude, I was having a full-on conversation with ChatGPT last night, bro.
It's amazing.
It's insane.
Reclaim my time in the car.
Yeah.
You literally can have a conversation with it and interrupt it and tell you to explain more stuff. It's worth the $20, Joseph. I mean, everybody's
used the free online one, and I found it absolutely astonishing.
Yeah, it's really good. But the free online one, you run out of tokens, so you go into that advanced voice, and then you'll give you a few, and then you're done for the day, sort of thing. Yeah.
Let's stick the bang.
Yeah, so Smokey Love, I'm watching it, man. I'm watching it. DJT is coming back down. It's breaking the 10 exponential now. It's on its way to 32. My stop is in place. I'm watching it like a hawk. It has to hold up this area, otherwise I want no smoke. Okay, I'm disappointed in myself for not having taken out a bit more at 60, but there was no way for me to know it was going to turn over here. So it is on the way down now. I'm going to see if that whole dollar wants to hold. Otherwise, that is it for me. Pro trader, got it. Sharif, stay open to learning. Option scalping is the big boss. I'll absolutely, dude. I'm definitely looking at expanding my knowledge in trading. I've really wanted to get into options for a while now. I haven't had the opportunity. Hopefully, this year I do get a little bit more time under my belt as some of the stuff that we're doing with my family's business is coming to an end. So I'll have a little bit more time, hopefully, to be able to learn that. I do appreciate you and the comments there. Pro day trader. All right, let's see. Elon, shout out to Sharif being so motivated. Yeah, dude, I really want to learn. Mandarin. I speak Arabic. I speak a little bit of French, not enough to get by. So I'd like to definitely get myself another really good language, and one that will, in my opinion, be in use. And definitely, you guys know where the direction is going. Big bees. Been using Perplexity and even on free, and using free AI sources has been very nice. Thank you. I know a lot of people talk well about Perplexity. I know Brendo uses it, and so yeah, thank you for that. The Hayes Records. Give us a sentence in Mandarin, bro. I don't know. I can say a ton of stuff now, dude. What do you want me to say? I don't know. I can say I like food, or I can say I like traveling. So I can say 我喜欢旅行 means I like to travel, right? Thank you. Why'd you hit the fill? Oh, okay, yeah. What else?
I don't think so, Adair said.
I don't know how to say get it, Adara in Mandarin, bro. There's lots of stuff that I can say. What's that? بحب أسافر. Right? That's the Egyptian Arabic, though. That's Egyptian Arabic, right? So Egyptian Arabic's a little bit different than all the others, but yeah, that's it. Zero Gravity Zen. I like Perplexity because I can choose between different models like Claude, OpenAI, Gemini. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yes, good point. I like to diversify to see which ones are the best. I mean, especially since DeepSeek's come out. I know DeepSeek doesn't have voice, but I've been really learning about all the different engines out there. I mean, I had only been using Gemini or ChatGPT. I hadn't gone to Claude. I hadn't gone to Perplexity and the others, Anthropic as well. I hadn't tried those, and I don't know why. Just the whole the DeepSeek thing kind of got me trying all these different ones. So that's a look there. Jamlocki, I speak Jordanian Arabic. Shout out to my brother-in-law who's Jordanian. He speaks up a storm, and I don't understand most of what he says. Yes, so that's the look there. I like turtles, says Thomas Johnson. I love that video. Anybody who's an OG knows that video about I like turtles. What else we got in the chat there? Ask ChatGPT, says Henrik. I will get it, Adara? Yeah, I can ask ChatGPT. I can do that. I'd rather learn it on my own, though. Yes, that is the look there. Ezekiel, you are my second favorite Egyptian after Mo Salah. I'll take that, bro. I'll take that. Mo Salah's an OG. Shout out to Mo Salah. I hate Liverpool. Shout out to Neil as well. No, I'm kidding, of course, because I couldn't hate Liverpool. My old man is a big Liverpool fan, so couldn't do that. Jai, you basically said get it. Oh, Jai means here. Like Jai Joli, right, means here. Yeah. So I know some people, like one of the cars in China, when you call its name, like you would say, hey, whatever, Tesla, it says, well, Jai, means I'm here, right? Like I'm still here. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that I can say. I can say, where's my cell phone, for example. Oh, wo de shoji Jainali, right? That means, where's my cell phone? Yeah, I can say a bunch of stuff. What do you got?
I don't got that much Chinese in my vocabulary, so I don't know what we got going on here with NVDA and Google here, guys. But it's starting to break out, pulling slightly back here. But I mean, it seems the SPY is slightly laggard, but I think it's going to start to pick up a little steam as these big names continue to hold these highs, which is really important. One thing, though, oh, wow, it's not looking good here for Bitcoin, though, guys. Continuing to sell off, 54 now and a half is Bitcoin. As the market continues to move higher, it is in zero correlation with it, if anything, an inverse as Bitcoin continues to dump. I'm going to have to look to maybe close some positions on this thing and then reassess and then maybe get back in at a later date. But as of right now, I'm not liking the look. I think this is the time where we do breach that 90K and then head a little bit more south. So we're going to look to mitigate that downside here on this trade. But that's that. And let's see what the Qs are up to as well, guys, as we hover around some key resistance levels as well. Here we are, even on the daily, from a daily perspective, we've been hovering around the same area. But let's zoom in and see what we got going on. A 5-minute time frame, running into some pre-market highs, almost to the penny, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
But we're not getting that volume really stepping in right now. As NVDA climbs higher, Meta's doing the inverse. It's starting to reject the volume-weighted average price and head to the south side, sitting around $711 and change is Meta. And the same with Microsoft, having the ability to crack through VWAP once again and hold, now going potentially to the downside. It seems to be the case that NVDA and Google are the strong counterparts here in this session, but let's see what Adara's up to, guys.
Be cognizant here of the market because we have comments from Feds Goolsby. He's specifically saying he's actually going to be putting emphasis on things like PPI. So maybe watch out for the PPI, the next PPI report with regards to how inflation is progressing. And he said what the Fed really needs to be mindful of is if any overheating or changes we see have anything to do with tariffs or if they're emblematic of a larger problem. So that is, I think, really worth noting here as well. He basically said, too, that the long-term rates are set by these market forces. So really, it's going to depend on what the market's doing. We know there has been caution about tariffs. And we did also have comments from Fed schools be saying that the state of the tariffs does make it a little bit harder to discern what the timeline of things is going to be. So more tariff concerns coming from Fed members here, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. I've been keeping an eye here on DJT, guys, and it looks like we're rejecting that 30 penny level again. So we had a lot of trouble with 30 pennies initially. As you can see, that's why I was taking out so many outs over here. And then we got the spike. Depending on what time frame you look at it, it could just be a wick, right? On the 1 minute, it's not going to look like a wick, obviously, because we spent more than a minute above that $32.50 level. But here we go. We got back into 30, and now we're rejecting again. So it looks like we're down. We're going to go down to 32. This trade is not going to go against me. I promise you that. Oh, wow. My stop has been moved up to break even. I'm long just south of 32, and here we go, 32.02 now, breaking down. So unless it bounces up here, well, then that's going to be the end of the trade for me. So only have 3 more outs left on DJT. Sad I didn't de-risk into 32.60 like, my inclination was to, but that's neither here nor there. We've got to deal with the trade we've got on at the moment, so it's going to have to hold 32. Otherwise, the trade is over for me. So that's the look there. Dragos, I know, brother. I was telling Joseph today, Joey, they canceled the Canelo versus Crawford fight today. So disappointed about that. I don't know why you didn't get the reasons, did you?
No.
Yeah. Dragos, if you know the reason, let me know, brother, because I know that Turkey Shakes complained about, what's that? About,
I just downloaded Duolingo. Look who shows up.
No way.
No way.
I showed up as a friend. Yes, Ram. Look, Ram, I'm doing at least half an hour, 45 minutes a day. I'm a power user. No, seriously, though. What was I saying, bro? Yeah, Turkey Shakes, he's complained about, I told you about this with Canelo. He's accused Canelo of asking for too much money because he doesn't want the fight. It's either he thinks, he's money bags, right? We know Turkey Shakes is money bags. We're not going to argue that. That's fine. But he's trying to basically make it look like Turkey is not the one who wants to fight. He's been accusing him of this, Joseph. And Canelo's the only guy who hasn't put up a fight, I think, on a Turkey, on a Riyadh season. Is it called Riyadh season, right? Yeah, Riyadh season promotion card. Now, a lot of people, they don't like what Turkey's doing because he's throwing around money, Some people, they feel some sort of way about that. I'll submit to you, I'll take those fights, especially in boxing, when we haven't been able to get the main fights done because there's so many dang promoters who are all self-interested.
Yeah. That's the name of the game. My friends and I were talking about it this morning, and I've been saying this for a long time. You need somebody to come in and just clean up all of these organizations, offer ridiculous amounts of money, and make boxing like half decent again, right? Because, too many promotions, too many weight divisions, and too many champions, and nobody knows half of these guys' names. So it's time to come in here and clean it up, man. Yeah, no, but it's been like this for too long, man. And I think it shows like a lot of disinterest within boxing. Like you go onto ESPN or whatever it be, and it's like Showtime boxing on Saturday nights or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's like, who are these guys? Nobody knows. But if you go to like a UFC fight night or like a PFL, you can actually be like, okay, there's a couple guys that on there, even though it's not like a main card or anything along those lines. But there's just too many no names in boxing. But you know what the thing is about boxing, though? You know what the thing is about boxing, Sharif?
What's up?
Like I can just go pro. Like you pay a fee, right? And then you can just go pro. Like, and it doesn't mean you're going to be good or going to get those fights. You still need to beat individuals, but there's no real threshold for like, okay, you need this, you need to accomplish this. There's rankings in the amateurs. You got to beat these guys in order to elevate and take it to the next level. Exactly. That's why you have these no-name guys. Like I remember Amanda Serrano fought some other lady, and it's like, who is it? They shouldn't even have been fighting each other. I don't know. It was a couple fights ago, because just the skill level was just absolutely, just absolutely too vast. So yeah, someone's got to come clean it up, and then maybe the sport will be entertaining again.
Said.
But as of right now, it's not looking like the case, guys. But here we go. MSFT, yeah, the market really coming in now, guys. Let's pull up SPY. And see what we got going on. So this consolidation phase, not looking too pretty as that momentum to the downside is continuing to pick up here. But guys, we're going to talk more about the overall market right after we get this ad read done. E-Signal, guys. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite trading experience. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Foresee profitable opportunities with the platform you need. Infinite data, instant trading, know where the market is moving before others with lightning fast data. Charts that change the game, customize and analyze markets faster your way. Better backtesting and scanning, predict the future by understanding the past. Reliable real-time data, up to the second market info from hundreds of global markets. Everything you need all in one place. Don't miss a beat, execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description. There we go.
Joseph, Goolsby has been dropping hot lines. I think he started around 130. I'm not 100% sure. I'm seeing 130 here. Here's what he said. So Fed Goolsby, tariff impacts will make it more complicated to determine what is overheating and what is a one-time price change. Here is the article. If you'd like to read it, you can screenshot there. Then there's more. Fed's Goolsby says effects of tariff on inflation may be hard to discern. Says first order effect of tariffs on prices may be less important than the possible impact on expectations. He goes on to say, Fed's Goolsby says appearance that inflation has stalled is largely due to base effects, says Fed needs to be more mindful of overheating and deterioration, but things are largely going well. That doesn't seem so bad, except for the, the question mark there about tariffs. And I think all of us have those question marks. I know I do. And I mentioned that about my positions, whether it was Apple or some others, how tariffs would affect those trades or those investments. So random oddities. Goolsby hotline sounds creepy. Yes, I know, a little bit there. Shout out to the Gould one. All right, guys, I took it out. I took out, what's it called, DJT at 32.10. And the reason I did that, because I just felt it was coming. It was going to break down. It breaks down now below 32, bottoming there at 31.88. It's still tradable. I mean, it's still above the 20. It's still above VWAP. It's positive on the day. It's just below my entry. I didn't want to have to nurse this one. So the DJT trade is done. We'll take out the last little bit there for a very light 13 penny winner from that. So that's a look right now. Donald John Trump is in a pseudo Donald John dump below 32 right now. So keep your eye out on this one and be careful, okay? Because we've seen DJT do this same song and dance before, and the bottom can drop off in the same way that it can explode to the high side. So VWAP, let me just tell you guys that the trade is not done on DJT. I perceive the volume weighted average price, at least on my chart, to be at around 31.5, maybe a little bit higher than that $0.50. That is an interesting area to possibly take DJT off. I don't know if I'd have a resting order at that area to just get filled. If it comes down there, I'd have to see exactly how the trade is manifesting, and then maybe I'd make that decision. But you know what is bouncing off VWAP? We don't need to guess if it's doing it or not. Is QNTM. Why would you do that to me? I got excited. So this one, this is a mistrade by me, full stop. That's just the truth of the matter. This is not something I didn't have eyes on. I chose not to punch in on QNTM at VWAP because I didn't want to give the profits back. That is a mistake by me, and now it is on its way up into 16 bucks. The thing about this one, though, is don't be so sure that the $18 level is going to break. Because, well, we still have lower highs. You have 3 successive lower highs there, and you have lower lows as well. So it's a downward channel bouncing off, I would say, a predictable area at the volume weighted average price. What I would be looking for It looks like we double topped there at 1650. You had this candle reject, and then we had a whole bunch of trouble breaking above 1650 for about half an hour or so. So maybe something around 1650 foreshadows a possible $18 break. Put some respect on this one's name, 83%, 84%. So it's up big on the day. It's holding key levels. I'm talking about QNTM. It is the #1 gapper. That's wrong. It's LTRY that's the #1 gapper, but this one trading below VWAP, not for me. And this is why I say it's not for me. Look how many attempts it's had at VWAP. Imagine I got in here. It didn't close above there. Imagine I got in here and then I'd have to deal with this one breaking back down. That's why I say it's got to hang out above VWAP. Once it loses VWAP and it retraces back up, it's got to hang out above there. It can't just be a quick wick and then a move back up. So we're still involved in RR, which I'm flat on. It's still putting in higher lows. Could be maybe a flat top break through 295s. I'm not that optimistic on it, but based upon where my stop is and where the price action is right now, I see no reason to get out, Joseph. How's that NVIDIA long doing?
I mean, we're climbing. We're going to touch the high days again, man, but Google is absolutely soaring to the top side now, Sharif. Now turning around to be positive on the session, up about 0.4% here, guys. That volume really starting to step in on this 1 minute time frame here as we push higher, forming that same pattern that NVDA was earlier, but now just breaking out significantly stronger than NVDA. Tesla is moving as well too. So some of these big names are really starting to pick up some steam, guys. It's dragging the Qs up along with it. So whatever that short duration selling was going on, it seems to be over as of right now. And I was looking at ARM not too long ago. A little bit tough price action, but we'll talk about that in a second because we got to keep our eyes out here on Google. We're a little bit late to the dance, so we can't chase this one all the way up here. But around that 190, 191 level would have been an ideal entry. It's not going to be the case today, so unfortunately we missed that one. But what we are in is some IBIT, and to be honest with you, I think I'm going to get out of this trade because I don't love this thing right now. So what we'll do is we'll take the majority of it off here just because I don't think it's going to recover. But why were we in this? Let's show and dive a little bit deeper because it was essentially the same thesis as Meta and some of these other signals that we look at. There we go. So here we go on IBIT, guys, why I decided to grab it. So extensive selling here throughout the whole session. This gap up just completely filled and then breaching it more to the downside. But this candle print right here, I told you guys crypto doesn't necessarily respect these prints as some common stock would. But I mean, here we go here. Let's see if we can get this bounce to continue. We took the majority off already. So let's see if we can get back to VWAP at least maybe here on IBIT. I think that might be a little bit much to ask for with only a couple hours left in the session. But with the overall market pretty strong, I mean, anything can happen. So.
All right, man. We got a couple of questions. Sharat Rahman, boss man. Question for you and Joe, but I can't tag him. You should be able to, brother. If you buy, this is down your alley, Joseph, so get ready. If you buy a call option at the current price, if you buy a call option at the current price is better than, say, buying a strike price that's $5 or $10 higher. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, let me read it here. So, man, question for you. But I can't. If you buy a call option at the current price, is that better than buying a strike price that is $5 or $10 higher? Okay, so there's multiple factors. There's not necessarily a straight up answer with that. One thing that you need to understand about options, and we talked about it not too long ago, is why people say the power of options is you have the ability to manipulate the contracts in many ways. It depends what strategy, and what I'm getting at, it depends what strategy you're employing. Now, if you're extremely bullish on this underlying asset and you're looking for it to appreciate relatively quickly, that is when you're going to buy those out the money calls, all right? You're looking to gain that extrinsic value within those underlying assets in rapidly a quick time. That's when you look to buy out the money. But again, if you're looking to buy at the money, when you're saying at the current price, that is what you're referring to as at the money, is something that you're looking, hey, okay, we're going to buy some time on this contract, but I'm not necessarily thinking or looking to gain that extrinsic value, i.e. time value on that contract. So it really, really depends on what kind of system you're employing. If you think that there's going to be a massive spike in implied volatility, then that's when you would look to buy those out the money calls because now you own that contract at the rights But what happens in options contract pricing is time value is priced into it. So now when you buy those out the money calls, and then that price starts to appreciate and gets closer to your strike price, you're now locking in extrinsic and intrinsic value, okay? So from a moneyness standpoint, you need that intrinsic value you need to be positive to have that intrinsic value, all right? Otherwise, it's only time value, and that's where buying out the money comes really key, and you see those outsized gains that a lot of people have where you're hitting those 200 and 300% returns. That may be somewhat of a complex answer. I tried to break it down as simple as I could. Hopefully that helped you. But again, if you're thinking that there's going to be a rapid increase in price, then that's when you can look to buy those out the money calls. You can also buy at the money as well too, right? So you'll gain extrinsic and intrinsic value. So intrinsic value being, for example, if we were to buy the 528 strike price on the call, or I'll use this as an example. So 527 strike price on the Qs, right? 527. We're now trading at 528. That contract now has $1.50 of intrinsic value, okay? So that's the moneyness of the contract, but then you also have the time value as well too. Hopefully I didn't confuse you on that. It's a lot of information to take in. You definitely have to do some due diligence on your own as well in that aspect. But for me, when I am purchasing, just going long contracts, I typically buy at the monies because I'm not necessarily expecting or employing a strategy where implied volatility is going to kick into the underlying asset and really start to appreciate that price, where I can buy something out the money and then you look to sell it when it gets at the money or closer, because those percentage gains are going to really increase as you get closer and closer to that strike price that you bought out the money. So a lot of stuff may seem extremely complicated. Hopefully that helped you, but it's not as complicated as I maybe just described it. The only way I can really explain it to you. The more comfortable you get with it, the more you'll understanding is that it's truly not as complex as it may sound. So it's really up to you on what strategy you're looking to employ there, my friend.
All right, Joseph, let's talk a little bit about the earnings plays that we have after the bell. Don't forget, myself, the Katina Man, and the Human Algo, Adara, are going to all be on the Market Recap show. Speaking of Adara, we're sending it to her, then we're going to talk a little earnings.
Come to me, please, here. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? Okay, sorry about that, guys. It's been a long week. We have WSC, though, speaking of longs, pushing sharply to the upside with volume. This company is called Will Scott Holdings, and I'm seeing here some speculation that this company and its containers could actually be considered for housing migrants here by the Trump administration. So apparently the Trump team is considering a container company. It's unclear if this is the container company they're considering, just based on how the headline's worded. But either way, WSC here spiking with increased volume on reports that Trump is looking at container companies to house migrants. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. All right, here's the deal. Let's go to the screen. Let's talk about some of these earnings plays. Amazon. Okay, so we're going to talk about what is reporting, and I'm going to give you guys the time. Amazon, we're expecting right at 4 o'clock, okay? Now, sometimes it comes right out at 4 o'clock. Sometimes it takes a little bit there. So expect this one quick as you like. We're looking for a move about 6.5% plus or minus. Last time we got just around that. We got around 6.2%. Fortinet, the cybersecurity name, and we know how heavily beta these ones are. This one's expected, Fortinet, to report at 4:05, okay? So this one will come out 5 minutes after the expected move, 10.3. We got about 10 last time, so good look there. Cloudflare, Net, this one's expected at 4:15 with the conference call for this one being at 5. We're expecting a wide move for this one at 11.3. Last time we got a drop of 4.6, so there's that as well. Take-Two Interactive. Also, we're looking at that TTWO reporting at 4:05 expected. That's a decent move as well. 6.8 last time. We got an up move of 7.5. Monolithic Power, MPWR, 13.9% expected move there. Where is MPWR? In time, this one's going to report likely at 4 o'clock. Last time we got a drop, 17.5% on PWR. We'll talk about some more because there's a lot of earnings plays today. We're going to send it to Adair for a second, though.
Keep an eye here on Palantir. People were looking for news on this earlier, and I just saw a story, though I'm not sure if it's what pushes to the upside, but either way, it's pretty interesting. Around 7 a.m. this morning, the company did announce that they've added Grok AI into its enterprise. So apparently, Elon Musk's Grok being added here to Palantir's enterprise suite, though again, this was announced earlier today. Unclear if that is the reason for the spike, but I think worth knowing regardless. Also, I have more details on that story that pushed WSC to the upside that is called Will Scott Corp. Basically, there is some report from Semaphore suggesting that Donald Trump's team is considering a private container company for migrant housing, a private shipping container company. So it's unclear if this is if WSC, of course, especially because they are publicly traded. But regardless, WSC moving up in sympathy with that as they are a container company. Back to you.
Okay, so I'm going to have to digress. Okay, I'm talking about these earnings plays. Apparently, this is coming in live right now vis-a-vis Ring Magazine. Canelo and Jake Paul apparently is a done deal. What the hell is going? Wait till Joe gets back. Jake Paul and Canelo apparently is a done deal, reports Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, obviously a big-time boxing promoter. This is being reported by Ring Magazine. I kind of want to see if this is real or not. Let's get back to these earnings plays. Wait till Joe gets back and hear what he has to say. Pins, Pinterest. This one, we're expecting pins at 405. We're going to get likely a big move. Last time we got around 13.4. This time expected 14%. Or sorry, 13.4. Last time we got a drop of 14%. Then Affirm. We know Affirm's a big mover. Affirm last time moved 14.3%. This time, we're expecting a 14.3% move. Last time we got about a drop, 4.5% drop. Affirm is scheduled to report at around 405. Have a look at this, Joseph.
What's that, brother?
Here you go, bro. Can you believe this? Eddie Hearn is reporting that this is done deal.
There's no way.
Okay. As I'm hearing, Canelo versus Paul is done.
There's no way. So that's why. No, you know what? My one of my best friends said to me, so Bud and Canelo planned on having a fight in between, and this might be it between their fight. So now this might be that fight.
Well, that makes sense.
But that doesn't even make sense because Jake Paul just said he was going to fight his brother.
Well, we heard that. And we haven't heard a whole lot about that lately, though.
No, we haven't. I thought it was a hoax, man.
This is crazy, this stuff that's happening right now, man. A couple of more here. Let's just...
that's crazy, man. Wow, Jake Paul is going to get KO'd for the first time.
Yep. Well, he's bigger than Canelo, though. But
he's
Canelo
much bigger.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking at there, guys. Let's just go back to the screen if we can. Expedia as well. I don't know. It's not much of a mover. That one's expected to report at 4, a plus or minus 9.7% move. Last time we got about 3.8 to the high side. That's that's basically it. I mean, there's some others, obviously. Clean Spark is reporting as well at 405. Let's see here. Microchip Technologies, MCHP is reporting as well. So we're definitely going to have most of these for you live on the Market Recap Show. Make sure to join Adara, myself, and the Katina man. Thank you, Adara, for sending those. I appreciate that. Jorge Bados dropping the cash in the chat. My man's dropping a 20 note right there, Joseph.
Yeah, big one.
Greetings, friends. Joe, what's your opinion in taking position at the money with 4 months expiration date? I'm assuming that's what they meant.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. Yeah, I like that you're buying time. I mean, in my opinion, just spend the little extra cash on time. If you think you need a month or 2 months, double it, triple it. That's just my opinion. The more time, the better. The less stressful you'll be because if you start to get closer to your expiration date and the underlying hasn't moved in your favor and theta really starts to kick in, you're not going to be a happy camper. So more time, the better for you. So I like that 4 month out. Even punch it out another month, in my opinion, if you're looking for that type of swing. But I like what you're thinking so far, Jorge.
I like it. And RC reporting or saying to me that MMA Fighting is reporting that same headline as well. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, the only thing is to hear it from them. I mean, Canelo and Jake Paul, apparently. Katina is getting pumped.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to get dealt with right now. Neil just informed me that Jake Paul has a 60-pound weight advantage versus Canelo. We know Canelo
he has like 4 inches on him too, right? What's Jake Paul, like 6'1" or 6'2" or something?
Something like that.
Canelo's like my height, like 5'9" or whatever it is. He's not that big, but I mean, it's the skill, dude, and the power and the experience, right? Like, it's the experience. So.
And let's be honest. What do you think Canelo walks around at?
Yeah, exactly, easily, right? So he's not going to have to go through any cut or anything like that. And we know Canelo's
going to be a catch weight too. Probably.
Right, exactly. And we know Canelo's had some history with tainted meat. So
hold on, that's tainted meat, right? Are we doing these?
We're doing the tainted meat.
Good, understood.
Right.
Say less, Joseph. Tainted meat. There you go.
That's it.
All right, Donald John Pump is back at that key critical 30 penny level. We've rejected multiple times off that 30 penny level.
5'7", you said, be honest. Yeah, he's probably closer to 5'7", yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he's 5'7", he's 5'7", right? Guys, DJT, this is the level that I've been keeping my eye on. We're still zigging and zagging right now at this level. We haven't cleared it with any vigor, but this was a level that we rejected when we tried to bounce back up and maybe test those highs. If this 32.30 level gets taken decisively, this could be a long and a test of the high of the day. It did breach 32. It kind of went into no man's land. This is an area I didn't earmark, this 31.80, 31.85. That bounce, there it goes. I knew it, into the 40 penny area. DJT likely going to take out the highs now, guys. 32.45. The high of the day, 60. Here's 50 pennies. Good move up here for Donald John Pump. Let's see what this one does. We've got a minute left on the show, so I'm not punching in here, but this one is on one. Be careful, though. The bottom can drop off, but that 32.30 level, a critical level of, I perceive to be resistance, just got taken. Now we're just looking at the 50 penny level and then the 60 penny level, which is the high of the day. If we clear that, we haven't been up at these levels in a long time. At least I haven't been trading DJT in a while, so maybe I'm wrong about that. But this is a good. Let's actually do some charting since one of the big kahunas is still putting on the mic. Let's have a look quickly. I didn't say. But yeah, we have been, Katina, man. We've been up here. We've been up here back on the 29th. We weaseled up into that 35. So this is a predictable level that we've been at before. Let's see if we reject. There is some resistance around here just based on the closing prints or the opening prints, especially this red candle right around the high 32s. And then if I'm looking at resistance, we're definitely looking at that 32.75, a little bit of an interaction with that level, guys. But it is time to send you to the Big Boy Show. Again, make sure to catch the market recap with us tonight. We have some definite amazing earnings. But Joseph, send them off with kindness, baby.
Yeah, I mean, guys, we did some credit spreads part 1, but next week we're going to get into some time of sales as well, guys. So looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be pretty good and really interesting as we dive deeper into the market dynamics.
See you guys tomorrow.
He's out of shape. Canelo's out of shape.
Well, no. Okay, let's see. Welcome back, everybody. And yeah, the market is market's near the highs. We ain't got no earnings tonight.